Yo, how are we all doing? Welcome back to Premier League Dad. My name is Kee. We are live for Manchester City against Spurs at the Etihad Stadium. This one's going to be an interesting one. Again, we don't really know what to make of Spurs just yet. I thought they were brilliant. I thought they were brilliant against Burnley last week, but admittedly it was only Burnley. But before that, they were terrific against PSG in the Super Cup final. It feels like they're making strides under Thomas Franks. So, yeah, it's good. It's positive, Spurs. It feels like the noise around Spurs at the minute, at least on the pitch, is positive. All the stuff with Eze and Gibbs White and Daniel Levy and all that stuff, it feels like they're maybe off the pitch. There's still a little bit of negativity, but I still feel on the pitch, Thomas Frank has got a really, really solid group of players there, a really, really solid idea of what system he wants to have, and I think it's going to be a difficult game for City today. I do think City probably win it, let's be honest. I have backed City. I've got City or draw today. That's the odds I've gone for. I'll share with you all my tips for today if you want to go through. If you're following along, if you're putting some ACCAs on later today, we can go through my tips. I'll talk you through them. Ronnie Dodge, it's probably the proper test that Tottenham needs. I agree. Listen, it doesn't get much bigger than this. City away at the Etihad. Spurs got a very good record here in the past. Dale says City 5-0. Okay. Ollie Marley, what's your predictions for the games this weekend? Well, the predictions for the Premier League games, I have got... I'll talk you through my predictions for the Premier League weekend fixtures. And then I'll do you my like hot tips for this weekend, generally speaking, across all leagues, all Europe. So 23rd, here we go. So Man City, Spurs. I've gone for City 3-1 here. I think City do win it. I think it's going to be a difficult game, but I think they just about run out with it. It's 3-1, but I don't think it's going to be a 3-1 type of game, let's say. I think Spurs are in it for a good while. Bournemouth and Wolves, I've gone for 2-1 Bournemouth. Brentford and Villa, I've gone for 1-1. I think Brentford can sneak something there. Burnley, Sunderland, I think 2-0 Sunderland. I actually think Sunderland are going to walk that one. And then Arsenal, Leeds, I've gone for 4-0 Arsenal. I think they absolutely smash Leeds all over the park tonight. What we saying? Let me catch up with everyone on TikTok. I apologise, I'm not ignoring you, I promise. James, can I ask what that red shirt that is, that behind you at the top, please? This one is Atletico Madrid. I assume you mean that one. This one is Atletico. I've got Ajax, and over here is a old Liverpool kit. But I've got loads, mate. I've got hundreds of them. Fatboy 007, this dibbling deal is way too much, the price, and then the add-ons and sell-on clause as well. It's desperation, isn't it? It's just desperation, it feels like. Declan Frith, Ronnie Dodge, how's it going? Good to see you. DN, do you still think Isak will go to Liverpool? Isak is definitely going to be a Liverpool player, yes. He will be a Liverpool player come September the 1st, 2nd. I actually expect that once the Liverpool-Newcastle game is out the way this weekend, I fully expect it kind of moves again and Liverpool bid and it all gets wrapped up. So yes, I do. I imagine Liverpool do sign Isak this window. Just because it doesn't make any sense, really, for Newcastle to keep him at this point. Ronnie Dodge, I've gone 3-2 City. Win Malfay, FC Bayern Munich 6-0 against RB Leipzig yesterday. Yes, yeah, big performance there from Harry Kane. Normal Guy, what up? Good morning from America. Good to see you. Ronnie Dodge, I've joined over to YouTube now. Cheers, Ronnie. Thank you for that, mate. Always appreciated if you can head over to YouTube for me. Leon, are you doing Arsenal v Leeds this evening? I'm doing this one, and then immediately after this one, I'm doing Burnley Sunderland at 3 p.m. And then immediately after that one, I'm doing Arsenal Leeds. So yeah, I am right here with you guys now, all day until about 8 o'clock. So I'm here, sat here right now with you. I'll be taking a couple of toilet breaks and maybe getting a bite to eat at some point. But generally speaking, I am here now with you through to 8 p.m. tonight. So you can dip in and out of it as and when you want to. Maybe you'll stay with me all day. Maybe you won't. Maybe you've got other things going on. Maybe you're not as sad as me. But I'm watching the footy back-to-back today. So we've got 3 games back-to-back. First up, City against Spurs. Then we've got Burnley against Sunderland at 3 o'clock. Then we've got Arsenal against Leeds at 5:30. So lots and lots of good stuff. Fatboy 007, do you do over 1 to 5 goals bet? I don't, mate. No, generally speaking, the bet builders that I do are double chance. The ones that I've found work. I won't do like BTTS, both teams to score. Don't do that. It's far too difficult to predict. The ones that I feel work the best are double chance and 1 to 6 goals. So do goal range, 1 to 6 goals, plus double chance, and you can usually get very, very... It's still relatively low odds, but if you add a number of them together, if you add like 10 of those... So, for example, I've done Copenhagen against Odense in the Danish Superliga today. Copenhagen are firm favourites to win that one. They probably would win it quite comfortably, but... Double chance, Copenhagen or draw, just in case if there is a draw, it doesn't kill your bet. It's still running. Double chance, Copenhagen or draw, plus 1 to 6 goals in the game. There's very few games that end up having 7 or more goals in them. So as long as there's 1 goal, as long as it's not 0-0, and there's a draw or a Copenhagen win, you're fine. Ronnie Dodge, I'm really happy that United are looking at a new keeper in... yes, a very good player. Yeah, really, really good player, mate. Senna Lamans. Mind your own, he's at once Liverpool, so he doesn't have to wait 70 years for the trophy. DN, I mean, if we don't get someone in, he will have to stay, and Liverpool don't put the right money. Listen, mate, I promise you, Liverpool are 100% going to put the money up for him. I think that's already been agreed. Newcastle... I am of the opinion anyway, maybe you'll disagree as a Newcastle fan, but I'm of the opinion that Newcastle would be better off playing Anthony Gordon up front all season, if that's what it takes. They're better to have players at the club that want to be at the club. So take the money for Isak. Go and get Wisser. Go and get Strand Larsen. Go and get Sorloth. Whoever it is, go and get Nicholas Jackson. Whoever it is you end up going getting. Go and get them, and they want to be at Newcastle. That is an infinitely better environment than having someone at the club who really doesn't want to be there. You can't keep a player like that. It doesn't make any sense. You're not going to be able to integrate him back into the team. Sinesalo, good to see you, Sinesalo. Thank you very much. Give us a like. Let's try and get up to 5k before kickoff if we can. Big likes. Big subscribes. All that good stuff. Mind your own. Real Madrid going for Adam Wharton. That's a good move for them. Can't see it. Lou, come on, City. Have you got any winners today, Lou? Key, they'll be resting players, won't they? Who? Taylor H, you should do an 8 o'clock game today. Well, I'm doing an 8 o'clock game tomorrow. I'm doing Juventus against Parma tomorrow night. Sinesalo, who are we watching early? We're watching City against Spurs. That's the early game. That's a 12:30 kickoff. So I'll be live for that. Straight after that, Burnley Sunderland at 3 o'clock. And then straight after that, Arsenal against Leeds, 5:30. So... back to back, I am here with you guys until about 8 PM tonight. So come and go as much as you want. Taylor, how many games are you doing tomorrow? 3 again. Another 3 tomorrow. So 2 PM tomorrow, we're live for Everton against Brighton. I'll be live about 12:30 for that. Everton-Brighton, 2 PM kickoff. Straight after Everton-Brighton, we're going to Craven Cottage. Fulham against Man United. And then as soon as that one finishes, we're going to go to Serie A, Juventus against Parma. So, that'll be good fun too. Calm the Red says this is going to be 2-2. City haven't beaten Spurs at the Etihad in 3 seasons. It's got to change sometime. No Bernardo Silva in the squad today. That's puzzling. Bernardo Silva for me is like an absolute linchpin for City. I hate him, but I love him so much. I think he's probably my favourite City player over the last 10 years. I think he's absolutely fantastic, Bernardo Silva. Con, what's your predictions for MK Dons v Newport? Ooh, I fancy Newport to get something there, you know. I'd back Newport or draw. Yeah, Newport or draw in that one. Sinesalo, I'm heading out later. Got a ticket to the Celtic game. Lovely. David, what game will you be watching at 3 PM? Burnley against Sunderland is what I'm watching at 3 PM, mate. The old 6-pointer down the bottom. Taylor, Monday's going to be insane under the lights. Monday's going to be insane under the lights at St James's Park. Oh yeah, doggy. Oh yeah, doggy. Looking forward to that one. Mind your own, West Ham going down this season. Well, I had them going down before the season started. West Ham were my pick. Jamie, yes, lad, you good? I'm good, mate. How are you? Good to see you. Lou, I've sent you the bet down lag. Well, let's have a look. Let's have a look at the bet. Let's have a look at the bets. What are you sending me? Do. Okay. I could be tempted. Mind your own. 5k likes. Cheers, mind your own. Thank you very much, sir. Appreciated. Sinisalo, Key thinks Sunderland will be a dark horse. Yeah, Sunderland will be fine this season. Jean-Pierre Catini, Mansfield the Orient away win. Agreed with that one. Yeah, I've got Orient to get at least a point in that one. Let me tell you the rest of my shouts for this weekend. I've got Wigan away today. That one's going to be another good one to keep an eye on. Let me tell you the other ones I would have a look at. And we'll keep an eye on them throughout the day. I've done a shout that's basically just 3 o'clock kickoff, so an acronym, just 3 o'clock. So I'll let you know what those are. Ipswich away at Preston. Again, these are all draw no bets. I don't do outrights because they're too risky. Don't do them. The one absolutely just kills you, Raka. You're better off doing double chance or draw no bet. So Ipswich away at Preston. Southampton at home to Stoke. West Brom at home to Portsmouth. Bolton at home to Lincoln City. Huddersfield at home to Stevenage. Bradford away to Peterborough. Bradford away to Peterborough is a good one to watch. Again, good odds on that one. Roma at home to Bologna. Dortmund away to St. Pauli. Who else? And yes, Sunderland. Honestly, Sunderland or draw away to Burnley is nearly 2-1. Nearly 2-1 if you do that right. What else have we got today? Wrexham at home to Sheffield Wednesday. Yeah, Wigan away to Rotherham. That's another good shout. Leyton Orient away to Mansfield. Wickham at home to Reading as well. Taylor H, I'm going to Cornwall on Monday. Can't wait. Whereabouts in Cornwall? Love it. That prime guy, score prediction for City Spurs. I have gone for City 3-1. Yeah, Roma against Bologna as well is another good shout today. That's at 7:45 tonight. Cheers, Callum. Good to have you in the chat on YouTube. Thank you very much. Sinisalo says, West Ham were awful last night. 1-0 up, then 5-1 Chelsea. It's a shame, really, because they were bloody good before that as well. DN could have said the same to you about Suarez, but you held on to him for a year when he wanted gone. The difference is with Suarez, though, mate, is that Suarez didn't do all the stuff that Isak has done. I feel like Suarez is the exception, not the rule. Do you know what I mean? He's not, like, 99 times out of 100, when a player says, I want to leave, and is public about that, and whatever, generally speaking, it leads to the player leaving. There's no way that Isak stays at Newcastle now, mate. It just doesn't happen. Ronnie Dodge, I wonder if Spurs regret letting Son go. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Spurs have been quite happy to let... he's not the player that he once was, Heung-min Son. Jamie says West Ham started playing well when 5-1 down. I went onto Twitter after the game, and there was people saying, "Do we think that Chelsea could win the league? Do we think that's a big sign that Chelsea are going to win the league?" And I was like, "Did we just watch the same game? Chelsea were crap. Defensively, they were all over the place. Callum Wilson should have walked one in the second half. They were this close to being 2-1 down. So, in a game where apparently they've absolutely smashed West Ham, they could have conceded 3 goals, Chelsea. Chelsea, that's it. There you go. You said it, Jamie. Chelsea weren't even great. West Ham were just worse. That's it. West Ham were terrible. West Ham were absolutely terrible. Chelsea will... Nobody's doubting at all that Chelsea's attack is up there. It's a very, very good attack. The problem is, they just don't really have a defence, do they? Reese's Footy Feed, in early just to say hiya and like the stream. I'm going to watch Rovers lose at Hull before I go the game. Fancy being so nervous for a 6-pointer in August. I'll watch Arsenal with you later. Good to have you on, Reese. Yeah, take it easy, mate. Enjoy the game today. Chimey says, hey all, good to see you, Chimey. Any good shouts from you today? Panama on at all or anything? Lou, City's defence is poor too, though. Your defence looks sketchy too, lad, and Chelsea the same. I think there's a difference between taking, let's say, measured risks and actually being poor defensively. I think Chelsea take fewer risks than Liverpool, but 1v1, their defence is kind of all over the place. Like, Chalobah, Achampong, people like that, they are not players who are going to win a Premier League title. Same with Robert Sanchez, to be honest. Harry, Sunderland 3-0 again. You heard it here first. Lou, we've done that one. Ahmed, I think their attack bailed them out massively. I think you're dead right there, Ahmed. Absolutely right. LUFC, I'm on my way to London for Arsenal away. How do you fancy you'll get on tonight? City's easy to get through, lad. Chalobah worse than Joe Gomez. Yeah, Chalobah, Achampong, Tosin Adrabayo, Fofana. That's not a back four that wins your league title. It's just not. It's never going to be. And then you've got Robert Sanchez behind them. Come on. Doesn't matter. You could have prime Messi and Ronaldo in attack. It doesn't matter. If you've got them at the back, you're conceding goals, aren't you? Taylor H, I love Chalobah. He's solid and he's an academy boy. He is. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with Chalobah as a backup option. But he shouldn't be a player that starts in a title-winning side. And he won't be. That's the fact. He just won't be. He's not that good. He's not good enough to be starting for a team that is competing in a title race. Chimey, I'll bet later on today right now. Just want to see how good City is. Yeah, I think everyone's a little bit curious to see exactly how City take this one, because this feels like the first real test of this new City side. Obviously, they played really well against Wolves last week, but it's Wolves. So, Taylor says, what about Colwill and Fofana? I mean, Fofana was dreadful last night. He came on and gave a free kick away straight away at the edge of the box. And he's not usually all that fit anyway. Fofana's just, for me, just an alright defender. He's just an alright defender. He's not reliable enough. And Colwill the same. I wouldn't put Colwill in the bracket of like one of the elites. Like, let's say Colwill is fit. Is he in the top 10 centre-backs in the Premier League? No. Is Fofana in the top 10 centre-backs in the Premier League? No. So I look at it and I think, well, if they're not even in the top 10 centre-backs, then chances are they're probably not going to be in a title-winning side. Jorrel Hato, Jorrel Hato was poor, says Lou. I think I'd probably agree with that. Ahmed, Kuka and Reece James are a good full-back pairing as well. Yeah, look, Kukurea I think is very good. Reece James is very good when he's fit. But Kukurea is the only one in that back four, back five, if you include the keeper, that you would look at and go, yeah, he could be a player in a title-winning side. He's the only one. Out of a back five, there's one that's worth, praise. Tobias says, Cresswell off to Dortmund, leads with a 15% sell-on clause. Oh, Charlie Cresswell's going to Dortmund. Oh, I was gutted about that. I kind of wanted him to come Liverpool. I love Charlie Cresswell. Taylor H, what if we get Bastoni? You're not getting Bastoni, come on. Jamie says, who do you support? I'm a Liverpool fan, mate. Liverpool need to sign Gay. Defence was dodgy against Bournemouth and Canate wants Real Madrid. Dodgy's... No, I don't think our defence was dodgy against Bournemouth. I think we took too many risks. Like, if you look at Liverpool's midfield, that was the problem against Bournemouth. And it wasn't like an individual thing, it was a team thing. Like, look, Liverpool were 2-0 up against Bournemouth, and we had, I think, 8 of our 10 outfield players were basically in Bournemouth's box. We were primed for a counter-attack. All it needed was a ball past us, and we gave it away. Bournemouth were in, and they scored 2 goals in exactly the same way. So That was a tactical issue. That wasn't anything to do with Liverpool's defence per se. I don't think it's our defence. I think we were just far too easy to be broken on, and Slot's going to have to maybe take fewer chances. Tobias says, I'm confident that Leeds will get a draw tonight. Okafor looks quality. He'll be on the bench, though. Lou says Van Disney was kipping kid. Well, I'm not surprised. It was him against like 4 or 5 Bournemouth players running at him. Ronnie Dodge, Chelsea will get found out at some point this season. And Finners Matty says Sanchez is the worst keeper I have ever seen. That's bold. I won't go that far, like. J Football, I support Villa, lad. Oh, nice. Villa away today against Brentford. How do you think you get on against Brentford? Jake says Pep finally benching Bernardo shows the influence of Linders. Listen, Linders will make City a lot better to watch this season, but he'll also, he'll make it a lot more open as well at the back. Ahmed, Declan Rice had about 5 LFC players running at him. He kept his composure at Anfield too. Did he? When? Wasn't that when Trent smashed it off the bar? That wasn't Declan Rice. That was Trent Alexander-Arnold missing an absolute sitter. Declan Rice kept his composure on your bike. That was Trent Alexander-Arnold can't finish his dinner. Tottenham will win and Johnson will score, says Villa 12. Okay, Liverpool will place 3rd, says AK. Who have you got winning the title then, AK, if Liverpool are finishing 3rd? Jamie says, unfortunately, I can't get tickets to Brentford, but I think we'll win 2-1. Something tells me, mate, I'm not sure that is going to be the case. I think Brentford get a point today. Villa didn't look great. Ahmed, Trent fumbled under pressure, seeing the aura presence of Rice. Yeah. Oh, goodness me. Goodness me. Lucas Lambert, how many games will you be watching today, mate? 3 today, 3 tomorrow, mate. Yeah. If you go and check the schedule out on YouTube, you can see them all. They're all queued up there, all the games that we're doing. You can whack your notifications on for the ones that you want to watch, hopefully all of them. But no pressure if you want to just dip in and out of them. But yeah, make sure you get over, subscribe, whack your notification bells on YouTube, all that good stuff. Jamie, we look very shaky against Newcastle. They were good, but we had a wrongfully given red card. I agree with that. I absolutely agree with that. The red card, I don't think was a red card against Konza. I thought Anthony Gordon threw himself on the floor. As we always expect. What's the score? There is no score just yet. Yeah, no score just yet. NUFC, he pulled him down, but never mind. He didn't pull him down, mate. Putting two hands on his shoulder. He ran across and he fell down like he'd been shot. It was a dive from Anthony Gordon. Joe, how do you reckon Newcastle go against the second biggest team in Liverpool? I think Liverpool win 2-1, mate. Lucas Lambert, Gordon always does that, though. He just throws himself around. Yeah, he's a known diver, Anthony Gordon, isn't he? That was absolutely a dive. Jamie, I don't think we're going to finish top 7. We've not made much reinforcements, and I'm worried, not going to lie. I think Villa are good enough to maybe get... I think you're good enough to get a European spot. Maybe Conference League or Europa League again. You'd be alright for that. I just maybe don't think you're going to get the Champions League without reinforcements. NUFC says Joe Linton will injure Wirtz. Everyone's going on like Joe Linton's this big grok. He's a fucking yard dog. Honestly, he won't be able to catch Gravenberch. He'll be seeing stars all game because Gravenberch's left him in his dust. Joe Linton. Never heard such nonsense. Joe Linton. Kid dyes his hair. Jamie, we can't let Morgan Rogers or Kamara go, or we are going to crumble. Yeah, Morgan Rogers leaves, you are knackered then. But I think if Morgan Rogers left, Unai Emery would be like, yeah, see you later. I'm not sticking around if Morgan Rogers is getting sold. Barry O'Connell says, can Eze play today? No, I don't think he's officially confirmed as an Arsenal player, is he? Not that I'm aware of, anyway. AK says, City first, Chelsea second. Chelsea! Third United! Oh, right, well, you've just lost all credibility then. Chelsea second and United in fourth. You've lost all credibility there, AK. All credibility. Joseph says, Newcastle obsessed because your best player wants to join the champions. Oh, good grief. Yours, Samuel. Can you go through the lineups if they're out? Absolutely, I can, mate. Yes, the lineups are as follows for this one. We'll talk them through because we are about 20 minutes or so, 25 minutes away from kickoff. So the lineups are for Manchester City, in goal, James Trafford. Back four of Rico Lewis at right back. John Stones, Ruben Dias and Ait Nouri at left back. Reinders and Nico Gonzalez in midfield with Ryan Cherky in the number 10. And then it's Oscar Bob on the right. Oscar Bob starting again. He started against Wolves, started this week. I think he might have been a good pick for FPL, you know, Oscar Bob. He might have been a cheap one. And I bet his price has shot up now because I think Pep Guardiola might end up starting him more this season. Oscar Bob wide right, Marmoush wide left, and Erling Haaland centre forward. So it's, yeah, Cherky in the 10, Marmoush left, Bob right, and Haaland playing up front. For Spurs, it's Vicario in goal, Spence left, Porro right, Van de Ven and Romero in the middle, and then it's a midfield three of Bentancur, Palhinha, and Sarr. And then it's Brennan Johnson on the left, Richarlison at centre forward, and Mohamed Kudus at right wing. Mad if he was at right back. Your Samuel, is Gvardiol injured? Yep, no Gvardiol, no Savinho, no Kovacic. The City bench is Bernardo Silva, Rodri, Nico Riley, Nunes, Kusanov, Foden, Ederson, Doku and Ake. For Spurs, the bench is Bergval, Danzo, Davis, Archie Gray, Kinski, Odeber, Solanke, Tell and Vuskovic. No Bissouma, no Dragusin, no Kulusevski, obviously no Maddison, and no Udogie for Spurs. So lots and lots of players being left out for Spurs, sadly. Lots of players they're missing. NUFC KS, people think Chelsea do well because they beat a poor West Ham side. Exactly, yeah. Ryan says, I can't take this anymore as a West Ham fan. End the season now. Would you sack Graham Potter at this point? Yeah, would you sack Graham Potter? Alex, who's better, Cunha or Eze? I would rather have Matthias Cunha at Liverpool. Yeah, Cunha's better than Eze. For me, anyway, I would certainly have Cunha. Villa 12, yes. Reason why Savinho wants to leave, because Bob will play more this season. Or maybe Bob is playing more because Savinho wants to leave. Maybe it's the other way around. We don't know. Lucas Lambert, Callum, Jed Spence is a good left back. He's very underrated, Jed Spence, isn't he? Jamie Football says, I think Liverpool will beat Newcastle 2-0. Well, listen, if you'd have said to any Liverpool fan before the game that you're going to play Newcastle, but their best player won't be playing, he's actually going to be out, you'd have been like, sound, absolutely, yeah, we'll beat them, no problem. So I don't think all this noise actually changes anything, to be honest. AM Villa 1, Key, what's your name? Key, call me Key. I mean, you can call me what you want. People call me much worse, but yeah, Key is usually what people call me. Jamie FTBL. Joe, how Liverpool are genuinely better than you, mate. Ryan, thing is, if we sack Graham Potter now, new manager will only have a short time to bring in the players he wants. The board's done too little too late. Sad. Very, very sad from a West Ham point of view. Callum says, door key, lad. Key in the door, 24. Alex, Eze added to the never-ending list of rejecting Newcastle. Did Eze actually reject Newcastle? I don't think he did he? Not that I'm aware of, anyway. NUFC says Savini will be a good player if Spurs get him. They might be a shout for Europe. I think Spurs are going to be a shout for Europe anyway. Callum the Red, Peter Kay. I've had worse shouts. Peter Kay, Simon Wilson. Christ, I can't win. What's the other fella? Daz Games. Is it that one? There's another one. I've had fucking everyone. I seem to look like everyone except myself. Ryan, less than 2 years ago, we went 17 consecutive games in the UEFA Europa League. Undefeated. What went wrong? Well, you sacked Moyes when he got you to... Did he get you a semi-final? Again, and you only ended up going out against an unbeaten Bayer Leverkusen side. So, yeah, wrong decision to sack Moyes, I think. Timbo Slice, has a manager ever been sacked 2 games in? I think this might be a first. Right, well, 20 minutes to kick off. We saw plenty of goals last night at the London Stadium. West Ham 1, Chelsea 5. If you're watching along with us on TikTok, it would mean an awful lot if you did head over to YouTube and go and check me out. Premier League Dad, I am live on YouTube right now. Go and join the chat. Go and vote in the poll. Go and join our fantasy league. All of that is in the description over on YouTube. If you want to go and join, you can do. Please do go and do it. We're giving up prizes, retro shirts throughout the season. It's free to join. Go and check it out. Premier League Dad over on YouTube, and give us a shout. It's a slightly different view over on YouTube. You got a professional, well, a more professional look and feel. Anyway, we've got an actual camera. We've got proper audio equipment on YouTube, so it's a bit better anyway. Definitely a different look and feel, and we've got a scoreboard too. So when the goals go in, you actually, you see a scoreboard, and goals go in and all that sort of thing. NUFC, Richarlison have a good year because it's a World Cup year. Jamie, what's your opinion on Nuno getting sacked by Forest for a disagreement with the board? Apparently, the disagreement has come from Edu trying to sign players that he doesn't want. Anki says, do you play fantasy football? I do, yeah. Wait, they've sacked him. No, I don't think they've sacked him just yet. But they have sort of put him on notice anyway. They've put him on notice that they're looking at sacking him for sure. And I think a part of that is because he's fallen out with Edu, who's the director of football. Adam, how many points did you get? Do you know what? I've not looked at it in the first couple. That's how I'll do it. I'll start it and just kind of leave it for the first couple of weeks, apart from obviously changing the captain. And then what I'm doing is at the end of August, I'm going to do a video where we update, like, I'll show everyone's this is where we are. This is the league table at the end of August, the league table at the end of September. People can obviously log in and see the league table at any point, but I'm going to be doing the league table every single month on the channel. I'll be doing an update on it. So I've no idea off the top of my head what points I'm on at the moment. Probably not very many. Although I did have João Pedro last night. I think I might have captained him as well. I can't remember. NUFC, that's shocking. That, like, how do you get sacked after getting a Forest team into Europe? I think it's just a disagreement basically between him and Edu. Edu wants to expand the squad. He wants to grow the squad so that they can compete in Europe. Nuno doesn't want a bigger squad. And some managers are very funny about squad size, aren't they? I mean, we know Pep Guardiola has been talking an awful lot about that. So, you know, it's not an uncommon thing. Managers like a very specific number of players that they work with and a very specific type of player that they work with. You know, apparently Nuno Santo wanted Adama Traore from Fulham. Apparently that was a very gettable deal. He's worked with Adama Traore before at Wolves, and Edu disagreed. Edu didn't want to bring him in. So that was one thing allegedly they've fallen out about. Another thing they've allegedly fallen out about is, again, Edu suggesting players he doesn't want. And they're not speaking, him and Edu, as much. And that him and Marinakis used to speak directly. Now they only speak through Edu. So it's all a little bit fractured. It doesn't feel like it's going to work with those three. And Marinakis ain't going anywhere. And it looks like Marinakis has to choose whether he wants to keep his manager or keep his director of football. And if he sacks Nuno, I don't know what manager would want to go and work there within that framework. If you're a manager and Edu is the reason that a former manager leaves, I'm not sure I would love the idea of going working in that. Steve, thank you for the follow, Steve. Appreciated, mate. Villa, Frank de Boer can't beat his record as quick as Prem sacking. Wasn't Frank de Boer was 7, wasn't it? I think was it 7 or 8 games? Thank you, NUFC, for the follow. I think he was 7 or 8 games, Frank de Boer, and he lost every single one for Palace, didn't he? Alex Macklin said, I pick Man City as our main challengers, no doubt. Totally agree. Yeah, totally agree. The poll on YouTube currently saying that Spurs' expectations should be no higher than 5th to 6th. In terms of where they should finish this season. Rodri back, says Alex Macklin. But they're on the... Yeah, he's on the bench today. Rodri might be good again. AFC Harv, I reckon this will be a good game today. I hope so. We've had a few bad games recently, haven't we? A few very sort of damp squibs. Timbo Slice, if Spurs finish 17th with Europa League, why are they finishing 5th with Champions League? Well, it depends. Do we think that Spurs finish 17th because of the Europa League? I don't think that was a direct correlation there. In my opinion, anyway. I'm not sure that was the reason why Spurs struggled last season. Do you? Do you think that's why it was? AFC Harv, don't worry, Arsenal will entertain you. NUFC, how do you reckon Ramsey will do for Newcastle and Malik Thiaw? Thiaw will do okay. And again, I don't think he's going to pull up any trees. I don't think he's going to be like the best centre-back in the league or anything. But he's a decent defender. Ramsey, I do really like that signing. Yeah, Ramsey's a player that I feel like he's not quite... Nobody's really been able to tap into his potential yet. And he's a really, really talented player. Yeah, you can put him. I actually think he might end up displacing Joe Linton in that midfield 3. I think you end up playing Ramsey, Tonali, Bruno, because Joe Linton's a big yard dog. Villa says correct. A Tottenham fan. Chelsea League 5 to 6 in the Prem, no chance. Champions League 5th and 6th in the Prem, no chance. Why not? Spurs literally fobbed off the league for the Europa League, played second teams at times. Yeah, no, I know that. But what I'm saying is that was a choice, wasn't it? That was a strategy. That wasn't like a failure because of that. Whereas I don't think that's going to be the case in the Champions League because they're not going to go very far. Chances are, Spurs, let's be dead honest, Spurs probably go out in after the league phase. They might make it to the next round, like the first knockout stage, but they're not going to be in the Champions League very long. They'll probably reach about the round that Villa did. If that, maybe even just before that. Joe, Malik Tiar was one of the best centre-backs in Serie A last season. Nothing to say. He can't do it here. He was one of the best centre-backs in a Milan side that was one of the worst performing teams. Yeah, sure. I don't know. I certainly don't agree that he was one of the best centre-backs in Serie A. But he was probably Milan's best centre-back, yeah. If you look at Serie A last season, it wasn't a particularly great year for Milan. They weren't a strong team at all. And yeah, they conceded an awful lot of goals. Timbo, Reinders was also in that Milan side and he started okay. Yeah, but Reinders in that Milan side wasn't in defence. Reinders was in a Milan side that was actually doing all right in terms of goal scoring. They were all right goal scoring. Or at least in terms of creating chances. Probably not goal scoring because Jimenez was bloody dreadful. But they were all right in terms of going forward. They just defensively, they were all over the shop. Certainly towards the end of the season anyway. James, talk to me about João Pedro worth bringing in instead of Bowen. I would have both. I'd have both. Alex Macklin, hope Leone starts on Monday. Why? Why would you want Leone to start on Monday? Mate, he's 18. Why would you want an 18-year-old kid to start at St James's Park? What a mad idea that would be. Worst thing to do for him. Christ, baptism by fire. The last thing you do is put Leone in on Monday. Mark says Monday's going to be a good match. Yeah, absolutely it will be. Timbo says, I think I'm going to do Palmer and Guiu, Semenyo and Wood in the FPL. Yeah, definitely not Guiu. Alex Macklin, Canate is poor. Alex will never agree on that, mate. Canate is the second best defender in the league. I don't know where you're getting that from. Canate is the second best defender in the league. If not the second best in the world, in my opinion. He's absolutely sensational. I have no idea where you're getting Canate's poor, so let's play an 18-year-old kid. That is the most bizarre statement I have ever heard, I think, on this app. John, I don't like it when this many games all start at the same time. James, who do you think will be the Premier League's highest goal scorer outside of Salah and Haaland? Outside of Salah and Haaland. Do you know what? Probably João Pedro. Yeah, I think he might do all right. Yeah, João Pedro, I would say. Alex Macklin poor against Bournemouth. He wasn't great against Bournemouth. It wasn't his fault that we conceded 2 goals, but he was poor against Bournemouth, or certainly not up to his high standards. Still don't drop a player after one 6 out of 10 performance, let's say. After 6 out of 10 performance, you drop him. That doesn't make any sense, mate. You can't do that. Mr. Luke Etherington, what's the update on Forest job role yet? Why are you thinking of applying, Luke? Yo, Samuel, if this match gets boring, I'm watching the Saudi Super Cup. Lucky you. Joe, not your glory boy, Isaac. Well, I think if Salah's top scorer, then I imagine Isaac probably won't be, because he ain't going to be on penalties. Alex, we need a central defender. We probably do need a central defender, but only as cover, not to start. If Kanate's staying, mate, we don't need a central defender. Like, if Gay comes in, you don't think Mark Gay's coming in and starting over Kanate, do you? If Gay comes in, which he probably will do, if Gay comes in and Kanate stays, Kanate starts. I'm telling you, Gay's not better than Kanate. He's nowhere near as good as Kanate. He's a very good defender, mind, but he's nowhere near as good as Kanate. If we sell Kanate and we put Gay in there, we have downgraded. I'm not complaining about that. Gay is a fabulous defender. He's not a bad replacement for Kanate at all. But There's no way at all you're saying to me that we should be putting Leone in over Canate or any of that nonsense. That's ridiculous. James, most underrated player who you think will do really well this season? Most underrated player who will do really well this season? Ooh. Lucas Bergvall. Lucas Bergvall I'm going to go with. El Patron, what do you think of Tottenham? Is that the old Arsenal chant? I like Tottenham. Yeah, I think Tottenham are going to be the most improved team in the Premier League this season. They'll go from 17th probably to about 5th or 6th. I think they're a very, very good side. Villa, why would he go to Liverpool to be sub? Because he knows that he'll go to Liverpool and probably win a Premier League title, probably compete in the Champions League in the latter stages. And the chances are that if he does sign for Liverpool, he knows that Canate is probably going to leave next summer. So he's only 24. Gay, he's not he's not an old player. He's not or anything like that. But I think for sure that he'll go to Liverpool and still get regular minutes. Canate has had, and Van Dijk. Van Dijk's no spring chicken. Both Canate and Van Dijk at different times are going to need rotating. So yeah, Gay's not going to go and be on the bench and be sub or whatever like that and just sit there. That's him all season. He'll still start 20 or 30 games. Villa says if he's sub, no England starts. You're off your meds, mate. If he's sub, no England starts. Mark Gay could not kick a ball all season. He'd still be England's best centre back. Mark Gay could literally not play at all, not play 1 minute from now to the end, and he still starts for England next year. Because there's nobody better than him. There's not a single centre back better than Mark Gay in that England squad. Nowhere near. Not a chance. It'll probably be Gay and Branthwaite, or Gay and maybe... Who else comes into that squad? I am Crute. If everyone's fit, Gay and Stones is the best England centre-back pairing. Yeah, I mean, but Stones, again, even Stones, he's a wonderful player, but he's also, like you say, he's broken. He's not really got the pace anymore. Joe, Dan Burn. Dan Burn isn't even in the squad. Dan Burn doesn't go to the World Cup next year. That's him done. He's had his little moment for England. He's had his moments. He's had his tears. He's played for England. Good luck to the lad. He can frame the shirts, but he's not getting another sniff for England. He's an average player. I am Crute. I chose Haaland over João Pedro for captain, praying that's a good choice, especially after yesterday. Can't see it. Think João Pedro getting a goal and 2 assists might well be the way it goes. Timbo Slice, Colwill could have started at the World Cup if he didn't get that ACL. Was improving all season last year. You don't have to be that good to start for England at centre-back. Colwill probably would have had an opportunity of starting. I think Branthwaite's the one who... Personally, I would have Gay and Branthwaite. They would be my 2 at the back. And I'd probably have taken Tarkowski as well. Even though he's a yard dog. I'd probably be taking Tarkowski, Branthwaite, Gay and Stones. They would be my back 4. Maybe, actually, no. Sorry, that's a lie. I'd be taking Kwanzaa as well. Yeah. Bizarrely, I mean, be honest, I think Joe Gomez is underrated, but just because he can play right back, left back and centre back, there's not many who can do that. Right, we are approaching kickoff now, 2 minutes to go. Get me your predictions in, let me know who you're thinking for today's game. If you're sticking with me, a big reminder as well, if you're sticking with me today, we are live right now, all the way through to about 8 o'clock tonight. So as soon as this game finishes, we're doing Burnley against Sunderland in the Premier League. As soon as Burnley and Sunderland is finished, we're doing Arsenal against Leeds. I might even be tempted to do one of the late games. There's an 8:30 tonight, isn't there? Couple of 8:30s in La Liga, so I might even, I don't know yet, I might go all the way through, but I'll see. 4 games might be a bit much. But 3 for sure, I'll be here till about 8 o'clock tonight, whether you're going to stay with me all the way through, or if you're going to dip in and out and come back later on, whatever. But I'm going to be here till about 8 o'clock tonight, watching footy. Love Saturdays. Saturdays are great when the season starts. Callum the Red, Rodri's back, Pep lying bar steward. He's only on the bench, I can't see him coming on. I am Crute says, I'm starting work at 1 and not finishing till 9. Might pop back on my break, though. Well, hey, if you can, you can, mate. If you can't, you can't. No worries. I am Crute says 2-2. James says 3-2 to City. Timbo, I don't think Tuchel likes Branthwaite and Tarkowski. He's not sure how they play in a high line. Exactly. No, I get that. And they're always going to... That's why I think Kwanzaa probably will end up getting in over him. Craig, thank you for the follows, Craig. Thank you, Queen Nathan, as well, for the follow. Appreciate it. If you are sticking around, make sure you do give us a like and a follow. Make sure you get over to YouTube as well. Premier League Dad, I am live every single day watching football. We're live 3 games tomorrow as well. 3 games tomorrow. Queen Nayahan, job. This is my job, yeah. I am Crute. Won't Tuchel play the back 3? Probably. Gary Garner, I have to say, you're one of the most entertaining footy streamers. Mate, that has warmed my icy cold heart, that comment. Thank you very much. I really, really do appreciate that. It means an awful lot when people say nice things. It's a real tonic in a sea of hatred sometimes, but it's lovely. Thank you very much, Gary. Appreciate that, mate. I don't seek to be entertaining. I try just to be informative at times. The very little information that I have, I try to just, I wouldn't say educate sounds stuck up and arrogant, because I'm not, best idea wins. You guys educate me as much, but I like that we all share. It's all good. It's a nice little community. You guys play as much of a part as I do, believe me. James, if you had to take one player from your biggest rivals team to play for your club, who would it be? Biggest from my rivals team? Is that also like a trick question? Are you kind of asking me there who I think my biggest rivals are from Liverpool's point of view? I would still say City, and I would still take Haaland. Yeah. I'd take Haaland. If we're talking Man United, it would be Cunha, because I'd still say Man United are our biggest rivals, just from a football club point of view. Christ, if I had to take one from Everton, oh God, probably Jared Branthwaite, yeah, and again, just about. Timbo Slice says Tuchel's dream would be playing a back 3 with James right centre back and Trent White right wing back. I'd be amazed if Trent gets a game after the way he started for Real Madrid, to be honest. Doesn't seem to want to play. Right, we are about to get underway here. Tottenham in the all black away kit. City in their usual sky blue number. And we're off. Gary, I've predicted 9th place for Spurs, but they will finally win the FA Cup. Yeah, I'll take that. That'd be alright, wouldn't it, for Spurs? I'll keep it updated as well throughout today's games. I'll let you know how all the other early kickoffs are getting on. And obviously all the 3 o'clocks and all the late kickoffs as well. I'll keep you updated elsewhere. We've got Charlton and Leicester who have kicked off at the Valley. That one's 0-0. Hull against Blackburn at the KC, that's 0-0, and Swansea against Watford. That one's also 0-0 in the Championship. Sheffield United, big important game for Sheffield United at 3 o'clock against Millwall. That feels decisive, doesn't it, for Ruben Selles, the way they've started. I feel like if Sheffield United don't get something at home against Millwall, tough side as well. I feel like maybe Ruben Selles could be in a similar position to Graham Potter. League 2, Luton 0, Cardiff 0, Rotherham 0, Wigan 0, of course. I'll keep you updated on that one. Any other big important games in League 2, League 1? Couple to keep your eye on there, maybe. Wickham and Reading. Posh against Bradford as well. Here's City coming forward. Spurs get it away. I am Crute says, according to my Brentford mate, Brentford are monitoring the Nuno situation internally. Wow. Imagine that. Keith Andrews gets the job and barely a couple of games in, they're switching managers. Ben, morning, Kee, lad. Good to see you, Ben. How's it going, man? My dad's just been round the other woman in your life's gaff this morning. Timbo says, will Super Franks Coventry go up this year? Super Franks Coventry? No, I don't think so. I think they're good enough for maybe playoffs at a push. I am Crute, according to my Brentford... Oh, sorry, we've done that one. Timbo Slice Nuno feels like the complete opposite of a Brentford manager. I don't think beggars can be choosers, though, let's be honest. Ben, good mate, been the gym, now onto the dog walk, and then to my uncle's for the cousin's birthday. Nice, lovely, that's not a bad day. Nice little Saturday, that. I'm gonna be chilling, watching the footy all day. Angle City live. Yeah, City are live right now. 3 minutes in. 3-star Red says, afternoon, Key. All I want today is a quiet day on Trent side. Yeah, no Nuno Santo news, maybe. No news is good news. Do you actually want him sacked at this point? Obviously, as a Forest fan, I'm intrigued to see what you think about it. Do you actually want him sacked? It seemed like you were on the side of Edu and Marinakis last night. Great ball down the left-hand side. Here's Marmoush in behind Pedro Porro. First real opportunity for City to stretch Spurs, and Marmoush gives it away. Really poor, that. Really poor from Marmoush. I am Crute says, what do you think has gone on between Nuno and Marinakis? The issue isn't between Nuno and Marinakis. No, all of the news has been that it's actually not a fallout between Nuno and Marinakis. It's a fallout between Nuno and Edu, the sporting director. That's the issue. It's nothing to do with Nuno and Marinakis, really. Nuno used to speak every day with Marinakis last season, and Marinakis has brought in Edu. Edu wants to bring in players that Nuno doesn't. Nuno wants to bring in players that Edu doesn't. Adama Traore being one of them. Newport have scored against MK Dons. I said that. I said Newport would get something. And yeah, it feels like there's a 3-star Reds. Another one of our. He's one of our regulars on this channel. 3-star Reds. He's a Forest fan. He came in last night and said that maybe there's a rumor going round that actually Nuno Santo, wants to go to Saudi. He used to work in Saudi. Apparently, he wants to go back there, and this is his way of trying to force Marinakis to sack him by giving quite prickly press conferences. UTV, how do you get all the football channels? Same way anyone else does. You subscribe. TNT Sports, mate. Here, it's not Dodge. It's all good. TNT Sports. City against Tottenham. Is Cherky playing? He is. Yes, he's playing in the number 10 behind Haaland. Spurs have got a free kick here. Porro stood over it. City have got a very high line. That does feel very Pep Linders. Ball sent over to the far side, and it's cleared away. Timbo Slice says, Newcastle chose Howe over their director of football. I think Forest should do the same. The problem is with that is that Newcastle chose Eddie Howe, but Newcastle as a result have been really, really poor, haven't they? Really poorly run. I've got to do that stupid capture thing. Yeah, Newcastle have been really, really poorly run as a result. Every Newcastle fan has been saying all summer, we lack direction. We've not been able to get signings over the line. That's because they haven't got a director of football. They've got Eddie Howe's brother, I think, in charge. It's all a bit weird, isn't it? There's no way that you should just be kicking your director of football out. Top sides need a director of football. It's just that this one hasn't quite worked. This relationship between Nuno Santo and Edu doesn't feel like it's working. Let me know what you think, though. Who do you think Forest should get in? That's a big question. Who should Forest go for if indeed they do sack him? James, do you think the Eze signing is enough to help Arsenal win the Prem? No. No, not at all. No. Eze, I think Eze is going to struggle a little bit for Arsenal. He's not a left winger person. Oh, that's a naughty foul, that from Haaland. That should be a yellow card on Haaland, that. That might have been a red. Oh, no, it's not a red. It's not a red, but it is a foul. Yeah, Eze has to adapt when he goes to Arsenal. He's a wonderful player, but he's going to have to adapt. He'd have been better going to Spurs, in my opinion. Timbo Eze helps them rest Odegaard when he's shit like he was last year. Yeah, but Eze isn't going to play in the 10, is he? That would be a better position for him, but he isn't going to... They've not signed Eze to keep him on the bench. Eze is going to start where Martinelli does. So they'll have Martinelli... Sorry, they'll have Eze on the left, Saka on the right, and Odegaard, the captain, in the 10. It just feels like, unless they have a fundamental change in system, they're not going to get the best out of Eze. Right, it's a free kick to Spurs here, just outside the box. This is a very dangerous position for him. Porro is stood over it. He is an ex-City player as well, Pedro Porro, isn't he? This would be interesting. He steps up, right-footed, straight into the wall. Oh, side netting from the shot as well on the rebound. Timbo, of course, he'll start left wing, but they have the option now to rest Odegaard if needed and move Eze across. Yeah, no, that's true. Very rare you rest your captain, though, right? James, great answer. Loving your Premier League commentary, Key. Keep it up. Cheers, James. Thank you very much for that, sir. Very, very much appreciated. I am Crute. I've just seen a kid in a Chelsea shirt with a shampong on the back. Seen it all. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. He's only a young man. Oh, City! Oh, Marmoush has just had one roll straight across the line. I felt like a calamity at the back from Spurs. Pedro Porro and Vicario. Quite lucky that. It was a flick on from Haaland. Really, it wasn't a flick on. It just bounced. Oh, it's poor. That is disastrous from Spurs. Pedro Porro, just a total miscommunication with the goalkeeper. And very, very nearly 1-0 to City. 3-star Red says, not now after what I've read about Edu at Arsenal and his falling out with Arteta. Edu was apparently not pleased because Arteta was getting too powerful regarding signings. He feels like he's wielding a lot of power, isn't he, at these football clubs? Arteta certainly fell out with him. Yeah, it doesn't maybe feel like Edu is the right horse for Marinakis to back in this one. I am Crute. If it's Palmer or João Pedro, I'd get it. Just didn't expect to see a shampong. You'd be amazed that every player at a football club has been put on the back of a shirt by someone. They've all got their names printed somewhere. Again, just a reminder. City, Spurs. Oh, absolutely shocking from Trafford again. Both teams having absolute disasters at the back already. Miscommunications between centre-backs, right-backs and goalkeeper. Oh, I tell you what, James Trafford is having an absolute word there with, is it Ruben Dias at the back who gives it him back? It's not actually, it's Rico Lewis, and the touch is just a little bit too heavy from James Trafford. And they're just glaring at each other. I tell you what, this has not been a game for defences so far. This has not been the game for defences and goalkeepers. Vicario and Trafford both having words with the defenders. Thanks for the follow, Paddy. Really appreciate it. Again, if you can share, if you can tap the screen, if you can give us a follow, if you can get over to YouTube and search Premier League Dad, it massively, massively helps. Thank you for everyone that already has. Both of these teams looking dangerous already, and primarily dangerous because of the defences of the other team. They're not looking all that solid. That's going to be a foul. No, Oscar Bob dancing inside. Really good play by Bob. Gives it away. Here's Marmoush. Oh, that's great play. Vicario comes out and smothers. Good. This is a really fast start. 12 minutes in. It feels like both teams having chances. William says City have a decent bench. City got a wonderful first team as well. That's why I really think City are going to be the team that, if anyone's going to take the Premier League title this season from Liverpool, it's going to be City. It ain't going to be Arsenal. Not in my opinion, anyway. I am Crute. Wasn't Edu behind bringing in David Luiz, Willian, Socrates at Arsenal when he first arrived? I think that was well before Edu, wasn't it? When did Edu joined Arsenal? Well after that, didn't he? Um, 2019. No, he joined Arsenal in 2019 as technical director, and he was promoted to sporting director in 2022. So Arsenal's, if we look at 2022-23 season for Arsenal, the signings that Edu would have had a serious sort of influence on would have been Marquinhos from Sao Paulo, not great. Fabio Vieira from Porto, not great. Gabriel Jesus and Alexander Zinchenko, not great. Leandro Trossard from Brighton's not a bad one. Kivior from Spezia, not great. Jorginho from Chelsea, not great. So yeah, they weren't particularly strong signings from Arsenal that summer. If we go to the summer after, which was, I think, his last summer at Arsenal, I'm right in saying, was it? 23-24. They brought in Kai Havertz, Jurrien Timber, Kai Havertz, Jurrien Timber, and Declan Rice. 3 players, that's all they brought in. Timbo says Willian joined in 2020. 2019 is when Willian and Luiz joined. It was defo Edo influence. Don't know about Socrates. I don't know, I'd be amazed if that was the case, but either way, fair enough. Right, so we've got a City player down here. Pep and Pep looking quite concerned already. And Ake looks like he's about to come on. Ake, rumours about Ake going to Everton. It's Ait Nori as well. It looks like a bad one. Ait Nori might actually be going off here. 3-star Red says, along with Ange, Mourinho and Brendan Rodgers now being bandied about for the job, now if a certain German gaffer who had just a little bit of success in his time on Merseyside, I'd be happy. Klopp! Klopp to bloody Forest? Don't be silly. Come on. No, Ange, honestly, you don't want Brendan Rodgers. Brendan Rodgers to Forest is a bad shout. I'd be surprised if you'd take him as well. He was at Leicester. Surely that's a bit of an East Midlands rivalry thing. You don't want Leicester's cast-offs, do you? Ange and Mourinho I can totally get on board with. At least they're European sort of cup-winning managers. That looks a very naughty one for Ait Nori. It looks like one of them where he's just jarred his knee. They're the ones where it always just feels like, yeah, he might be out for a couple of months there. I am Crute. Sorry, William. Can you see Douglas Luiz being signed by Forest? I know he's going on loan. Depends how he does. He's been a bit flat, hasn't he, since he's signed for Juventus? I think if Forest are going to sign anyone or appoint anyone to follow up Nuno Santo, I don't think they should be looking past Ange Postecoglou, personally. I think he's a wonderful manager. And he would play really, really good football at Forest as well. I know he didn't have a great year last year, but the season before... I mean, he did have a great year last year. He won a European Cup. But the year before, I thought he was brilliant as well. Timbo, if you're Forest, do you get a counter-attacking manager like Nuno for continuity? Well, maybe. Maybe. I think they've got players in there who can play a different style of play. They could go and be a bit more ambitious. They could go and get like a like I say, like a Terzic. Terzic would be a good shout from Dortmund, or maybe Marco Rose used to manage at Leipzig. Marco Rose would be a good one. Domenico Tedesco, of course, who was big at Schalke, and has previously just finished in the Belgium job, hasn't he? Domenico Tedesco, still a very young manager, but he was once considered like the next Nagelsmann. Good shot from City, and Spurs just about get it away. This is better from Spurs. Sorry, better from City, actually. And good defensive play by Spurs, actually, to get it away, but they're just getting a little bit desperate now. Timbo says Rossinha to Forest, or is that too high a jump? Yeah, I think that's too high for him just yet. Rossinha probably falls into the Will Still category. Like, he's done well in France. I think he needs to get... If he got Strasbourg into the Champions League, he might have maybe commanded a bit more. But they're not pulling up any trees in the Europa League at the moment. They drew with Bromby the other day. William, are you surprised about Noah Okafor? What do you think he'll do for Leeds? Not really surprised, no, because I don't think he was doing all that well in Italy. So, yeah, it's not that big of a signing in my opinion. Again, I know this is kind of a really stereotypical way of looking at it, but if he was up to much, he wouldn't be signing for Leeds, would he? Like, let's be really honest and let's be fair to Leeds fans. If he was up to much, if he was really that top a player, he wouldn't be signing for Leeds. Leeds have to take chances on players, and players have to take chances on Leeds. And if they take chances, it's because there's not really any better options for them. So, yeah, Okafor going from AC Milan to Leeds doesn't fill you with confidence, does it? I am Crute, I'm off, mate. Might be back in a couple of hours. No worries, mate. Enjoy your shift, and I'll see you in a couple of hours if you're around. Twisty Mullet, what does top four look like for you so far in the Prem? Same as it was before. I don't think it changes. I think it's going to be City maybe overtaking Arsenal. That's it. I think Liverpool win the title. I think City finish second. Very close, though. City could run Liverpool close, and it wouldn't surprise me if City did win the title. But Liverpool and City will fight it out. I think Arsenal probably end up falling away again. And then Chelsea in fourth. So, Chelsea I don't think have enough to be in a title race. I think Liverpool and City, it'll be between. Arsenal will probably just fall away again the same way they did last year. Yeah, and that's it. I don't think there is any other options for the top four. Has anyone got any other alternatives for the top four? Any other serious shouts that could actually make a firm sort of go at the top four? I've not heard any convincing shouts. 3-star Reds managerial swap at Selhurst tomorrow. That might be the next storyline. Yeah, Nuno Santo to Palace. Glasner to Forest. I wonder. Could he be persuaded? Timbo Slice, Forest should get Steve Cooper back. Handsome Steve Cooper to give him his full title. Senderos da Silva, thank you for the follow. Appreciate the follow, everyone. Thank you very much for tapping the screen and all that good stuff. Really helps. Timbo, if Newcastle spend the Isaac money well, they could have a good go at top four. Really? Top four? I still think they're missing a goalkeeper for top four. I look at Newcastle and I don't think they're better than Chelsea. And I don't think they're better than Arsenal. And I don't think they're better than City. And I don't think they're better than Liverpool. So, over the course of a season with Champions League football, Newcastle aren't getting anywhere close to that top four, to be honest. Loved. William says, loved the look of my first look at Esteval last night against West Ham. He's a baller. He's a baller. That's one way of describing him, I guess. He can't keep hold of a ball. It cost his team a goal in the first half. Is this another change? Oh no, it's still Ait-Nouri. Ait-Nouri's not been... He's not got back on his feet yet. Just walking off the pitch here. Bad news. And it's going to be Nathan Ake, I think. Coming on. Timbo Slice, don't talk about Estevar to Kee. He's written him off at 18. I've not written him off. I just want him to be a little bit more disciplined. When the ball comes into him, keep hold of it. Keep hold of it. You're saying I've written him off at 18. You've given him the Ballon d'Or at 18, you, Timbo. William, he looks good, though. He looks all right. You've got to stifle praise on these young uns just yet. Let them earn the praise. Christ, people, don't take too much. Look at Dowman. Dowman at Arsenal. All he had to do was dribble past Joe Linton. He got knocked over for a penalty, and all of a sudden people were saying, I genuinely saw posts saying, is Dowman better than Lamine Yamal? I was like, are we having a laugh? Ugh. Timbo Slice giving him the Ballon d'Or, I said no such thing. Yeah, and I didn't write him off either. So let's not play silly beggars with each other. Joe, if he played for Liverpool, he'd be the best thing since sliced bread. We've got a better 16. We're sound. We've got Rio Engamoa. An actual Ballon d'Or winner. An actual baller. Show you what a real baller looks like. 3-star Reds, do you reckon Mourinho would be too toxic in Marinakis and Edu partnership? Mate, they would end up scrapping on the pitch. You'd have Mourinho giving it that again. Like, Marco Silva, another gaffer who's not happy at Fulham and also with links to Marinakis. Yeah, I just feel like if Marinakis chooses Edu in this triumvirate, right? If he chooses Edu out of those three, no manager's going to want to touch the Nottingham Forest with a barge pole. No manager worth their salt is going to want to go near him. Oh, that's really sad. Al Ittihad are now in talks with Porto for Rodrigo Moura. How sad is that? Good luck, Vincent. Thank you for the follow. Rodrigo Moura at Porto is about to move to Al Ittihad in Saudi for 75 million euros. Oh, that's really sad. 18 years of age and he's going to Saudi. I don't like that. That makes me really sad for football. Good luck, Vincent says Man City, United, all of them, and cheat Chelsea is the best. J-Star Trading, I know next minute you're paying them 100k a week and they're sat in City's reserves. There you go. Too right. But yeah, that's grim, that. Rodrigo Moura, wonderful player at Porto, 18 years of age, so talented, and he has allegedly agreed a move to Al Ittihad in Saudi. 75 million euros. Crazy, crazy stuff. And big news as well about Rodrigo. Speaking of Rodrigos, Rodrigo of Real Madrid has asked Alisson Becker for advice about living in Liverpool. That's positive. What's it like? What's the weather like? What's the football content creators like nearby? He's asked all them sort of questions, and Alisson Becker's given glowing reviews. So it's all good. Yeah, hopefully we sign. How mad would that be if Liverpool somehow managed to pull off Gueye, Isak and Rodrigo in the final weeks of the season? William, are you a football content creator nearby then? Well, I'm a football content creator, I guess. You could label me that. I've been labelled worse. Hankster, sadly that's why football is not football anymore. It's just money. But people, do you know what the funny thing is though? People were saying that 30, 40 years ago as well when Trevor Francis got, he was the first £1 million footballer. Everyone was saying, oh, football, it's all money, money. They were saying the same when Alan Shearer went to Newcastle for 15 million quid. It's the same. It's all the same. J-Star Trading, I hope he didn't ask what the weather was like. I mean, if he asked what the weather was like in England, he hasn't really been paying attention, has he? What's the weather like? What's the food like? It's not like it is in Spain, put it that way. We have got some lovely restaurants around. I imagine if he's moving to Liverpool, he's probably living in leafy Cheshire, somewhere like Hale Barnes, or somewhere around there in just outside Greater Manchester. It's only a 45-minute commute there or thereabouts to Liverpool. Can get to training all right. Fly up the M6 onto the 62. Timbo Slice, mate, we created the Yorkshire pudding. What do you mean? Hankster Rodrigo coming to us toffees then. No, mate, you've just signed Tyler Diblin. You don't need him. Tyler Diblin is going to... You'll be saying Rodrigo who by the end of the season. William, did he ask in Spanish or in Brazilian? No such language as Brazilian, William. It's Portuguese. Oh, City are in. Must be. What a save by Vicario. Fabulous save. Who misses that? I feel like it's... Oh, yeah. Omar Marmoush. I feel like it's a great save, that. But Marmoush has to score there, I think. He's got to round the keeper. That felt like such an easy opportunity. Brazilian. Every time I just think of that Brazilian AI song that keeps going round all over TikTok at the minute. Every TikTok it's on, innit? No Prada, no Prada, no Prada acelerada. Twisty, Downing is nowhere near Yamal. Downing? Stuart Downing? I wasn't on about Stuart Downing. Dowman, the young lad for Arsenal. Do you think I was talking about Stuart Downing? Not Stuart Downing. Dowman. And that's not my bias talking. Esteval just played against an awful West Ham team, against a better team, and I don't think has the same impact. Exactly. Hankster, is it him who used to play for Leeds, mate? Who? Diblin? No, Diblin's Southampton. Timbo Slice, Key, have you ever considered going on Britain's Got Talent, mate? What a vocal performance there. Yeah, no. No, not my thing. Hankster, Rodrigo. Oh, God, no, not that Rodrigo. No, I'm talking about Rodrigo as in the Real Madrid Rodrigo, that Brazilian Rodrigo. The Rodrigo who used to play for Leeds. Where is he now, actually? That's a good point. Where is Rodrigo used to play for Leeds? Oh, he's at Al Rayyan. He's in Saudi. Oh, sorry, Qatar. Qatar, not Saudi. He's at Al Rayyan in Qatar. He's 34 years of age. I think he was Spanish as well, wasn't he? Walsall 1-0 up against Salford. It's a good start for them. I'll tell you what, given that Reinders is apparently this, worldy player, he's just been bullied there by Kudus. Kudus letting him know who's boss. Early doors. Timbo, I think the Saudi League is here to stay, to be honest. It'll be a good league eventually if it keeps going. Can't keep ploughing. I mean, to be honest, we said this about the Chinese league, remember, a few years ago. They kept signing players like this and they kept ploughing money into it. We want to be the best team in the world. China, yeah, that fell away, didn't it? It was a little bit like that with Russia for a spell as well, if you remember. Anzi Makachkala, do you remember Anzi? Anzi signed Roberto Carlos, Samuel Eto'o. Started signing really good players. They don't even exist as a club anymore. A lot of the Chinese Super League clubs don't really do an awful lot anymore, feels like. No other goals across, across the top few leagues in England. Walsall 1-0 up against Salford. Newport 1-0 up against MK Dons. Luton and Cardiff. Rotherham and Wigan both 0-0. Charlton Leicester 0-0. Swansea Watford 0-0. And Hull 0 Blackburn 1. And obviously still 0-0 here at the Etihad. Here's Kudus down the right-hand side. They're doubling up on him already. Ake getting over there. Timbo, this is different to the Chinese league, though. The Saudis own golf, boxing, and now want football. They're coming for everything. Everything. Back of the net, George. Thank you for the follow, mate. Really appreciate that. Thank you for the follow. Graham Potter needs a sack, says Reese. Do we think he actually gets the sack, though? That's the problem. Back of the net, George. Do you have a Saudi shirt? No. No. No Saudi shirts here. Noah Searsons, who's doing better? Who's doing better? Brennan Johnson's just been booked for kicking the ball away. That was needless. Silly yellow card, that, for the young man. Not such a young man anymore either, by the way. Brennan Johnson, you should be knowing better there. Who's doing better? I would say City have probably had the better chances. Well, they have had the better chances. Marmouche has had 2. Good save from Vicario for 1. But both teams have made mistakes at the back. Thank you for the follow, Mohammed Kiptu. Thank you for that. Hangster, did Decore go to Saudi? I don't know where Decore is, actually. Where's he ended up? Swansea 0, Watford 1. The Hornets going ahead in Wales. Yes, Abdoulaye Decore has signed for Neom, who is a newly promoted team in the Saudi Pro League. Hankster says Richarlison to score next. Manny on the map. Man United to win on Sunday against Fulham. Yeah, no, you're not beating Fulham at Craven Cottage. Can't see it. Back of the net, George Salter. Do you like my name? As much as I can like a name, mate, I like your name, yes. Clarkey says 1-0 to Watford, yep. Good result, that, if they managed to keep it away in Swansea. At the Liberty. The old Liberty Stadium. Manny on the map says we beat them. Listen. Oh, Spurs are in here. Must be. Chance. It's 1-0 Spurs. Get in there. Is he on? Is he on? Lino, has he given it? Oh, he's ruled him out. There might have to be a check here, but that's really, really smart play by Spurs. It was Richarlison, I think, down the right-hand side. There's going to be a check. There's going to be a check here. Is he on? Is he on? Let's just see. Richie. Oh, it's close, that. I think he is off. Oh, it's very close. That's very, very close. There's nothing wrong with the rest of the goal. I think it will be offside, sadly. But hey, what a fast... That would have been a great start for Spurs. Still a check ongoing. It's a long old check, this one. They're going to have to get the lines out. Get the old ruler out. Let's just see. Oh, it is snug, that, isn't it? Ooh, this one could be tight. I think it is offside, though, but it's closer than I originally thought on that first look. There's not much in it. The ref's just said that. The ref has just gone like that as well. It's very, very tight. Everyone round the Etihad on tenterhooks here. I think it is going to be ruled out. It's already been ruled out. They're just checking. It might be one of those where we're just waiting on the ref. He might do a quick VAR check. I think he's going to give it, you know. It's a long check here. He is. He's given it. Spurs have scored. He's given the goal. Oh, 1-0. Get in, Spurs. Brennan Johnson with the goal. Delayed reaction FC, but they've done it. City 0, Spurs 1. Bloody hell. And I've got City. I've got City or draw. Pull your finger out, Pep. And the other Pep. 2 Peps. Get them. Great ball by Richarlison and Brennan Johnson. Do we expect Trafford to do better there? But that's straight at him, that. I feel like the keeper's got to do better there. He's got to do better. Surely. That's a disappointing one, that. Looks like he's onside, though. He is onside, absolutely. And there you go. City 0, Spurs 1. Now we are underway at the Etihad. Reece says, did the Luton v Cardiff game not suit your fancy, Kee? It's a hell of a game, to be fair. Is it actually? What game? I've not even seen what score it is. Is it still 0-0? I think it's still 0-0, isn't it? It's not even playing. What are you on about? Oh, no, it is 0-0. Spurs are more washed than bedding, says Reece. Hankster says, I meant the assist by Richie. You did, yeah. You meant assist. Callum the Red says, Spurs lead in Manchester again. Not surprised. You said 2-2 as well, didn't you, Callum? Might not be a bad shout, that, you know. Could do with City stepping it up for sure. This is the first real test. This is what we talked about. This is why I said people shouldn't be getting excited about Man City. They shouldn't be getting excited about Man City just yet. Last week was a one-off game. Like, they are a wonderful, wonderful team. But against Wolves, you've got to take into context the opposition. And today, they've not been at it. They might still win, but they've not been at it so far. It's not been a great first half from City. And it's been a really solid away performance from Spurs. Spurs are in again. That's an handball. That's an handball from Trafford. Surely it is. Surely that's an handball from Trafford outside the area. That might well be a red card. Oh, that's a penalty, ref. Come on. Oh, my goodness me. What's he doing? What's he doing? The ref's got to stop this. I tell you what, this is disastrous goalkeeping from City and disastrous defending. Kick the ball out of play. Kick the ball out of play, then he's got to check it. Ref, you've got to have a look at this. Here we go. He's stopping it. He's stopping play to have a look at this. That is absolutely a red card. They're checking the second one here. That's outside the area, so that's not a penalty. There's nothing wrong with the foul on Porro. I want to see the one before it. I want to see the one before it with Trafford. I think he handballs this outside the area, does he? Here we go. Kudus. Oh, it's kind of off his chest. But is it a foul then? Is it a foul? Ooh, I don't know. They're still going to check it. There's still a check ongoing. No, ref said no. No more check. That's... No pen. No pen, no handball. Shea Smith, red card to Hughes. I initially thought that might have been a red card to Trafford, but it wasn't. And yeah, on reflection, having seen it back, it probably wasn't an handball, actually. Mr. C, you watching Everton tomorrow, Kee? I am indeed, yes. Rotherham 0, Wigan 1, yes. Up the ticks. Up the ticks, come on. Hankster says, top manager, though. Frank always liked him. Back of the net, George Salter. Mate, what's your opinion on VAR? Like it? Yeah, great. Love VAR. No problem with VAR at all. The problem with VAR is not necessarily the technology. It's more so the expectation that has been set and the idiots watching the game. The amount of fans who are like, they keep getting things wrong. Well, yeah, they're still human beings who make mistakes. I have a lot more sympathy for referees than maybe the average football fan does. And even though they get a lot wrong for my team as well, they're still people. They still make mistakes. The problem is that idiots watching football literally think, oh, well, they've got a computer now. They can watch it back. Therefore, they should get nothing wrong. Get a life. Get a life. Mr. C, should be a good game. Us against Brighton tomorrow. Absolutely. I think Brighton will just take it, though. I expect Brighton will just nick it tomorrow. Reece, I'll take no disrespect to the future England #1. City are all over the place. Hanks, you think Tarks was handball, lad? It was handball. It was handball. Of course it was handball. He leant into... The problem with... Oh, that is handball. I'm sorry. That is handball. It's handball. That is handball. That should have been handball. If Tark's one was handball, Trafford's one was handball. That should have been a handball for sure. That was handball. That was handball. Reece, honestly, Key, this Cardiff keeper was turned into prime Edwin van der Sar. Tarkovsky's was handball, I'm telling you. Mr. C, what do you reckon about us finally getting Tyler Diblin? A lot of money for the teenager, though. Tyler Diblin is an investment. I think that's the way you've got to look at him. It's the same way you'll have to look at Tierno Barry. He is, for me, a very, very good, talented player, but probably can't immediately contribute to this side. Like, Diblin isn't going to come in and immediately tear up the Premier League, but he'll probably get you a couple of assists. You know, he'll do all right off the bench, and he'll add a little bit of pace, which is something Everton desperately need. Richarlison's just nicked it off him in midfield. Is it Reinders? I think Reinders just give that away. Christ, all the praise for Reinders has all dissipated quite quickly here. I think, fortunately, he's just got back and won it. Oh, it's Cherky who got back and won it. And now Cherky's giving it away. Cherky's not having a great start to this one either. This is not great. Reece, how someone can say Tarks wasn't handball is beyond me. You can see him lean into the ball. Exactly. Mr. C, we apparently offered Vardy a contract. Vardy to Everton. Now, that would make a lot of sense. Mr. C, the age concerns me, though, with Diblin. Well, I can understand that. Yeah, I can understand that for sure. 18 years of age, it's a lot of money. 40-odd million, and then you've got a sell-on clause and everything on top of that. So you're gonna have to sell him for big money to actually make it worth your while, aren't you, really? Back of the net, George Salter, Key, Eze. Yeah, Eze's not a bad signing, but I don't think he makes the difference in terms of getting Arsenal to a title. I think they still finish third. Hankster, Vardy at least knows where the net is, be an okay signing for us. I think he'd be brilliant, yeah. Spurs win the corner. Spurs finishing this half incredibly strongly. As it stands, it might well be... They could go 2-0 up here before half-time. How many extra minutes at the end of this game? End of this half, sorry. Kudus with the corner. Ref's got an issue with the goalkeeper here, so he's going to go and have a chat to him. And Romero. And the corner's going to be retaken. 7 added minutes at the end of this half. 3-star Red says, eating chicken and mushroom pie and chips and peas. Bare-chested. Reason why they don't go well wearing the new Europa League Forest shirt. You're eating a chicken, mushroom pie, chips and peas. Bare-chested. Christ, you're like Rabsy Nesbitt. Kudus with the ball in, all the way over to the far post. It's going to be another... No, it's going to be a goal kick. I thought that was another corner. That Prime guy, as a City fan, we have owned Spurs so far, but stupid to concede that. You've owned Spurs? In what way have you owned Spurs? Owned Spurs? That's a odd statement. Callum the Red, Spurs have scored first in every game since 21-22 at the Etihad. Apparently City have owned them in this game. Oh, Spurs... They've given it away again, City. It's 2. It's 2. It's absolutely shocking, and Paulinho scored it. Apparently City have owned Spurs. Well, they've not. They're now 2 down. Absolutely dreadful from Trafford, from that City back line. Their communication has been dreadful all half. And I said it. I said they was going to be 2 down. They're 2 down at half-time. They're falling to bits, City. All this praise for Reinders, for the back line. Stones was terrific. Diaz was terrific. What a signing Trafford's going to be. You're having a laugh. Absolutely shocking. Absolutely shocking at the back. Oh, it's really poor. It's really, really poor from Trafford and from... Is it Gonzalez? Is it Gonzalez or is it Reinders? Who comes short for that? He doesn't want it. Why are you passing it to him? He doesn't want it. Oh, it's dreadful. It's so bad. I can't tell you how bad this goal is. I can't tell you how bad this goal is. Callum the Red, I've told you, Kieran, lad, don't put a City win here. I haven't put a City win. I had City or draw was the one I did. But I silly. Very silly on my part. On reflection, that was foolish. Very, very foolish. Oh, come on. Reece, City only started having fans after 2012. That Prime guy says City have been all over them. Mr. C, you're losing 2-0, lad. Back in your box, sunshine. No, listen, you haven't been all over them, Prime guy. Come on, you haven't. You haven't. It's been a very, very good Spurs away performance, this. Thomas Franks and Spurs deserve an awful lot of credit. Apart from that one Marmouche chance, maybe 2 Marmouche chances, one of which they absolutely gave to you, by the way. 2 Marmouche chances, that's all you've seen all day. There's not really been any chances for City. Reece says, Jesus, that goal was atrocious. It was so bad. 3-star Reds, certainly a coupon buster this one, Key. May look at what odds are being offered for the City comeback. Well, let's talk. I'll have a look now. I'll have a look for you. Let's do it. Let's see what odds on a City comeback. Let's see. The odds are as follows. For Manchester City, you can get right now 3-1. 3-1 for City or draw. That's not a bad shout going into this second half. If you was to back City or draw, 3-1 odds, that's maybe worth a cheeky 20. Back of the net, George says, buddy, can I come on live with you? I can't, mate, because I'm live on multiple places. So if you put you live on TikTok, I'm live everywhere. So it wouldn't make an awful lot of sense to anyone. Callum the Red, Guardiola is sick of the sight of Spurs. Rodri and Ederson, defo coming on at half-time. I think Trafford, that might... Christ, he might well have ended his City career inside 2 games here. Hankster, I think Brentford will definitely struggle without Frank as manager. I think they're going to struggle more without Mbermo and Wissa. It's less to do with Frank. Thomas Frank's a good manager, but I think Brentford will be fine. They're not going to be down there, despite what happened at Forest last week. But yeah, if there was ever a doubt on who City's bogey side is, Spurs are running all over these at the minute. It's a great away performance, this, from Spurs. I've got to say, I'm really impressed with Thomas Frank and how he's got this Spurs side set up. Palhinha in midfield has been my man of the match. He's been everywhere. Not only has he got the second goal, but he's been so effective in the press. City can't breathe in that midfield. Bentancur, Sarr and Palhinha as that midfield 3, I think have been absolutely brilliant. All the praise for Tijani Reinders. Make it just as loud for João Palhinha. He's been absolutely tremendous. Back of the net, George Salter, Key, can I come on live with you? You can't, mate, no, because I'm live in multiple places. I can't have you on TikTok, because then nobody else would know what I'm saying or what you're saying, because I'm on YouTube and Instagram and Twitch and X and Facebook and everywhere else as well, so I can't have you just on one platform. I would need to have you live on everything. Early claim for the penalty from City. It's gone behind for a corner. Ref says no. Oscar Bob jumped up there. But short one from City. Hung up to the far post. Haaland! Haaland's missed the sitter! That's a huge chance for Erling Haaland. He's 6 yards out with a free header. How's he not scoring that? Oh, Haaland, you've got to put that away. That's dreadful. That's unforgivable. Daniel, why do you think Spurs fans don't rate Johnson when he's their top goal scorer? I think it's just because he's maybe... honestly, if Brennan Johnson was called, I don't know, Brenzo Johnsini, and he was Italian or Brazilian or Argentinian, I think they probably have a little bit more time for him. I think it's just the unfashionable name, maybe. Brennan Johnson. Oswald Duke, is it 2-0 still? It certainly is, and it's half-time. City 0, Spurs 2. You can get nearly 3-1 for City or draw at half-time here. So the bookies have made it fairly clear on how they feel at half-time. João Palhinha, man of the match so far. Absolutely sensational in that midfield. He has been some signing for Spurs. James Trafford all over the place in net. But yeah, Johnson and Palhinha, the goal scorers. City probably their own, guilty of their own downfall here. Kieran, how can Man City look so good against Wolves, putting 4 past them, but look so awful against Spurs? I don't get it. Come on, Michael, you're an intelligent guy. You're a Leeds fan. You've watched them for many years. The difference is the opposition. Wolves, dreadful. Spurs, very good. Wolves, all over the place. Lost their 2 best players, Aït-Nouri and Matheus Cunha, left in the summer. Against Spurs, totally new system, new manager, couple of new signings. Look, a completely different team. Dominated PSG, dominated Burnley. I think Spurs are absolutely terrific. They'll do brilliant this season. Absolutely brilliant. Fatboy007 says, have City been that bad or have Spurs been good? I think it's more the latter. City haven't been terrific. I will say that. City haven't been terrific, but I would say it's probably a 7 or 8 out of... maybe a 7.5 out of 10 performance from City. It's an average City performance. 7 out of 10, let's call it. Spurs have been 9. This has been a proper away performance from Spurs. Everything. City can't live with the press. They can't live with the press. They have been absolutely terrific in midfield. Palhinha's been incredible. Peace, thank you for sharing the live. Thank you for those that have already followed. Thank you even more to those that have gone across to YouTube. Search Premier League Dad. Follow me on YouTube. Give us a subscribe. It massively, massively helps. Remember, I'm live all day today. We're live until about 8 o'clock tonight. Straight after this game, I am live for Burnley against Sunderland at 3 p.m. And then I'm live tonight at 5:30 for Arsenal Leeds. Ryan, everyone knew that City's defence was a major weakness at the start and it's already getting exposed. Do we think City's defence is a major weakness? I'm not sure it is. I think City's defence is okay. Diaz and Stones is not a bad defence. And Aït-Nouri or even Ake, it's basically your treble win inside, isn't it? You could look at Rico Lewis at right back, but he's not a terrible player, is he? It's just Spurs' press. I think Spurs' press have been absolutely terrific, and Palhinha deserves immense credit. Fatboy says Trafford is not a top 4 league player, a top 4 keeper. Well, he's a young keeper, isn't he? He's a keeper that needs a bit of... he's going to grow into the role. He's probably not going to be someone that's immediately, ready for it. James, Haaland might just be a flat track bully. Well, again, that's a very valid point. Marmoush and Haaland both missing very big chances. It's all easy to point at City's defence. City's attack have missed 2 very big chances, haven't they? Marmoush and Haaland missing 2, possibly would we call them sitters? I think we would. 2 sitters City have missed, and they've been dreadful in defence. And they've been ran all over in midfield. So, at what point do we start pointing, where do we point fingers? The goalkeeper's not been great, yeah, that's fair enough to admit. The midfields looked terrible. The attacks looked pretty meh. So, where are you pointing the fingers? Fatboy says Verbruggen will be one of the best keepers in a couple of years. Ryan, the defence is good on paper, but it hasn't been elite for a while. Daniel says Diaz has had 1 good season. The rest of the defence is injury prone. Lou says, told you lad, defence is so poor. You called it, Lou. Yeah, you called it, mate. I'm struggling. I've got City or draw. I've got City or draw on most of my bets here. William, what's the change Man City need to make, if anything? I think they need an extra body in that midfield because they're getting ran through. Gaming Boy, thank you for the follow. Yeah, I think City need a change in midfield. So for me, I would probably be bringing Rodri. No, not probably. I would be bringing Rodri on for Nico Gonzalez. He's been shocking. I'd be getting Rodri back in there. I would be bringing in... I think I'd be taking Cherky off. I think Cherky's been totally and utterly ineffective as well. So I would be taking Cherky. I know you need Cherky if you're going to get back into the game. So that maybe that's something that Pep has to balance and consider. But I think the best chance that they've got is maybe in the wide areas. So I would consider taking Cherky off for Doku. And putting Doku wide left. Put him up against Pedro Porro. Porro's looked vulnerable. So I think if you put Doku up against Porro and you say get at him, get balls into the box, you put Haaland and Marmoush in the middle, and you maybe take Oscar Bob off for... Or maybe put Cherky out wide right and take Oscar Bob off for Doku. That would be the change I would make. Doku and Gonzalez... Sorry, Doku and... Who have I just said? Doku and Rodri on, Gonzalez and Bob off. That would be my two changes at half-time. William, Bernardo Silva comes on possibly. Is Bernardo Silva on the bench? If Bernardo Silva's on the bench, I would be tempted to bring him on for either Cherky or Bob as well. Yes. But the thing is, Pep Guardiola doesn't usually make changes in situations like this. This is the other thing to remember. I actually think... Thank you, Jams, for the follow. Appreciate it. Yeah, Pep Guardiola very rarely makes changes. He knows at half-time all of the crowd will be like, we've got to make some changes. He's got to make some changes. Pep's very stubborn. I'd be amazed if we saw changes at half-time here. Callum the Red, Michael, look at City's record against Spurs. You won't be surprised. Michael, this will be a big test for Tottenham to see if they are, as a club, have toughened up as a club under Frank. They threw away a 2-goal lead against PSG, a match they should have won. Can Spurs learn? Very, very good point, yeah. Again, and do you know what? If you're Thomas Frank, that's exactly what you're referencing here, isn't it? That's exactly what you'll be saying to these Spurs players. You'll be saying to them, listen, we did this. We were in this position against PSG, and you threw it away. This is your redo. This is your attempt to go again here. So let's not screw it up again. We can't keep giving away 2-goal leads. We need to be a team that can keep leads against the best teams. We got 2 up against PSG, we threw it away. We're 2 up against City. Do not throw it away. We don't concede 2 here. No chance. We're winning this. Joe says, glad we didn't get Trafford. He's still better than Ramsdale, mate. You can't be saying that. What a brew every season without fail. Spurs turn over City, and I cannot complain. James, Phil Foden, that's the creativity they need, especially with no more KDB to call upon. Foden is struggling to get in the team of late, says Fat Boy. Yeah, I mean, Foden, I've never really rated Foden, if I'm dead honest. Joe, he's not better than Ramsdale. Joe, come on, have a day off, mate. Ramsdale's shocking. Ramsdale is absolutely shocking. He's definitely better than Ramsdale. He's 100% better than Ramsdale. Ryan, Spurs are genuinely City's kryptonite, no matter the manager. It's so funny. Daniel, who do you think will be the most entertaining team this season? Probably Man United in many ways. Because I feel like they've got to go. They have literally gone shit or bust in the way they're approaching the transfer window. And I feel like Amarim's going to just kind of throw the kitchen sink at it. So I think they'll end up losing plenty of goals and probably scoring quite a few as well. Because I still think they get ran through, and I still think the goalkeeper situation, even if they get Lamans in, I still think that's going to be way off. Daniel says Johnston is better than Trafford. Timbo Slices Ramsdale isn't shocking, that's harsh. Ramsdale is fine, but that's it. If you were ranking the top 10 keepers in the Premier League, he wouldn't be in it. I think if you were ranking the top 15 keepers in the Premier League, I'm not sure Ramsdale would be in it. I think Trafford would, though. What a brew. A lot of my family are West Ham fans, and it's looking like it's going to be a great year as they go down. Oh, you'll definitely have bragging rights over them, mate. That guy Miles, Spurs always do this to City. Ryan, at least Pickford's kept his job for England for the foreseeable future. I wouldn't be so confident with that, you know. Dean Henderson's doing great things at Palace. Henderson's in Europe. He's winning cups. Henderson's just as likely to take that number 1 spot off Pickford. But yeah, I'm intrigued now. Half-time, can City turn this around? It's a big, big test, an early season test of their mettle here, City. I'm very intrigued at how this second half pans out now. But I do think, I'm calling it, I think Pep Guardiola doesn't make any changes at half-time. If he does, that would signal a change in maybe in his behaviour, because usually again he'll wait until kind of he'll give the team that he's picked, he'll stick with. He'll give him hell at half time, but I think he'll stick with him stubbornly and he'll back him to change it. He'll say, "You get out there and you got us in this mess. Go and fix it." I don't think he's going to take him off. No, I think he keeps him. The Craigies, Ham, Spurs fans are like, Eze who? What a brew. Even as a Liverpool fan, I wouldn't want any other keeper than Pickford for England. I wouldn't bother if Henderson went in goal. To be honest, Pickford's not out special. Daniel, who could City get to replace De Bruyne? Oh, they've got him, haven't they? They've got Cherky. This is how flaky the modern football fan is, right? Because last week they were all saying how wonderful Reinders and Cherky are because they tore Wolves apart at Molineux. And this week, I guarantee, all the noise will be Cherky is absolutely dreadful. Lost the ball every time he got it played into him, which he has. And Reinders has been ran through a couple of times in midfield. Reinders hasn't been... In fact, Reinders has looked awful in midfield. Reinders has looked awful. He's Palhinha, Sarr and Bentancur have absolutely dominated that City midfield. Timbo Slice, I remember when everyone was crying at Pickford being number 1. Now people just accept it. It's because there's no real alternative. That guy Miles, on form, who's better, Raya or Ali? Ali is iconic, no doubt, but right now, I'm not even answering that question, Miles. That's a ridiculous... I know you're not being serious about that. You're trolling there. It's not even a serious question. What a brew. I believe Pickford is fantastic for England. Going to be a key part when we win the World Cup. Daniel, are Spurs playing 4 at the back? They are, yes. Romero, Van der Ven, Porro and Spence, but they are playing with that 3 in midfield. And Sarr and Palhinha are kind of dropping into maybe making it more of a back 5 when they need to. I imagine we'll see a lot more of that in the second half. Just to kind of get the extra body at the back. But to be honest, having the extra body in midfield has helped because Cherky hasn't been picking up any space. They've absolutely won the midfield battle, Spurs, today. They've absolutely dominated City in midfield. Michael, Kieran, you've seen all Liverpool's rivals in action now. Do any of them give you cause for concern, or is it too early to make judgment? I'd still say too early, because we've still got another week or so left of the transfer window, Michael. I expect Liverpool will make at least 1 signing, if not 2. I think maybe Gay and Isak. Maybe Gay, Isak and Rodrigo. Or I think a couple of signings will come in for Liverpool. I think Arsenal might well make 1 more as well. Wouldn't surprise me if Arsenal maybe brought 1 more in. City... Possibly Rodrigo again, wouldn't be surprising, especially if City lose in this manner. Oh yeah, they'll go again. They'll go to that transfer window for sure, and go and try and get something else from the well. So it'll be intriguing to see exactly how City approach this second half now. But my opinion, Michael, is it's too early to really make a definitive judgment on any of the title rivals just yet. I still think City will be up there come the end. I still think Arsenal probably will be. I just don't think they'll have enough. And ultimately, I'd still make Liverpool favourites. Thank you for the follow, Mountford. Appreciate that. Thank you. If you are new around here, just before we kick off for the second half, thank you for all those that have already gone over to YouTube, Premier League Dad. Search me up, give me a follow. I'm live right now on YouTube. It's a different view to what you might see on TikTok. We've got a professional camera setup. We've got a scoreboard. We've got proper audio equipment. It's a bit better over on YouTube. Certainly a bit different. Go and check it out. Premier League Dad. You can join all the competitions we've got over there in terms of... We've got an FPL league. If you're joining Fantasy Premier League, totally free to join. If you've got a Fantasy Premier League team, go and join it. It's in there. And we're giving away retro shirts throughout the season. So you've got a chance to win that. Go and check it out. Be yourself, Dylan. Tottenham could win the league. Behave yourself, Dylan. Come on, Dylan. Don't be saying things like that. Mountford, thank you for the gift, mate. I appreciate that. It's very nice of you to say. Sorry, very nice of you to do. Not nice of you to say. KO9, how much points are you on in FPL? No idea just yet. Not a clue. I've not even checked. At the moment, what I'm doing is I'm planning to put like all of our collective points and the league table up on a video next week. The big AK, the view on YouTube is quite flattering for you, pal. Cheers, man. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Can't be much worse, to be honest, can it? Let's be honest. That guy, Miles, who's from Arsenal, would you put in your starting 11? Who would I put in our starting 11 from Arsenal? Rice. Yeah, probably only Rice. Maybe... I could possibly be persuaded on Timber. If he's fit, yeah, maybe Timber, but probably only Rice at this moment in time. Gyökeres, get to fuck, Gyökeres. Behave yourself. Gyökeres don't get on our bench. Gyökeres. Fucking Gyökeres. Behave yourself. No, Gabriel and Saliba don't get in. Neither of them are better than Konate or Van Dijk. And again, Arsenal fans will say the same. But absolutely, Gyökeres, I've never heard such nonsense. I have never heard such nonsense in my life. The big AK says Saliba and Rice, Konate is looking like he's going to snake us. I know, but you can't say that changes anything. Just because Konate might end up going to Real Madrid doesn't change the fact that he's probably the second best centre-back in world football right now. Gabriel is better than Konate. Well, make up your mind. Is it Gabriel's better than Konate or Saliba's better than Konate? Can't make your mind up, you Arsenal fans. Timbo Slice, Lewis Skelly in a couple of years. Yeah, he's not bad, Lewis Skelly, but he's guilty of giving some things away at times. And again, his own manager doesn't trust him just yet, does he? James, 90 plus goals for Sporting over the last 2 seasons. Mate, you could put me right now, as I am in Sporting's lineup, and I'd still get 60. So I'm not, I know, Gyökeres is absolute pish, as you said there, KO9. Totally agree. 90 plus goals for Sporting over the last 2 seasons. Newport 1, MK Dons 2. Did we have any changes at half time? I don't think we did we? Not that I'm aware of, anyway. No changes at half time. Told you. City! Oh, good block. Really good block at the far post. The big AK says Konate is very clumsy. I would say that's his only flaw. Clumsy? No. Mate, Konate is absolutely sensational. Honestly, I'd have Joel Matip over there, any of them 2 Arsenal. I'd have current Joel Matip over either of them 2 Arsenal yard dogs. Joel Matip, the big Cameroonian giraffe, galloping into midfield with his arms like this. Absolutely unreal. Love Joel Matip. One of my favourite Liverpool players of all time. You used to just go on that. Do you know that meme where it's like, I'm going on an adventure? You used to just pick the ball up and think, fuck yeah, I'm going, I'm off, and just run into midfield, and his arms would be all over the place when he was running. He was like, do you know how Sterling has that like, he runs like that, doesn't he? Matip was like the opposite. Here's Richarlison. Come on, Richie, you've got to hold the ball up better there. That's really good play by City and Spurs. Really smart play. The big AK says that goal against Leeds was orgasmic. Joel Matip, what a player. City are awful, says Sean Kiley. The Spurs fans are in very, very good voice here. James, which other current manager, even outside the Premier League, would you be happy to have at Liverpool? Ooh. Current manager, happy to have at Liverpool. If Slot was to leave. Ooh, that's a good question. Yeah. That's a very good question, actually. I need to really think. That's probably a good idea for a video, that, you know. Man City and Arsenal drop points and a David Ornstein bomber. What's that? I've just seen that on Twitter. What's the David Ornstein bomber? I don't think there is a David Ornstein bomber. I thought it was actually... Yeah, no. Yeah, I always thought Xabi Alonso would be the one, you know, the next one, but no, probably not really. There's not really anyone that's like a huge standout, I guess. Do you know what I would do like, actually, an awful lot? And this has mainly come from my admiration of Angelo Stiller. But Hoeneß, the Stuttgart manager, I've got a lot of time for the way those managers in the Bundesliga play. Rather than one Wigan one. Damn. Yeah, a lot of time for Sebastian Hoeneß. I think he's a very, very good manager. Is there anyone else really that stands out? We always were linked with Nagelsmann back in the day. I could see maybe him, if he decided to go back into club management, Nagelsmann might be worth a look. But yeah, probably Hoeneß at Stuttgart. Haaland, shocking from Haaland again. James, if he hadn't joined Spurs, I'd say Thomas Franks. Yeah, listen, Andoni Areola's the obvious one in the Premier League, isn't he? Thomas Frank's brilliant, but yeah, Andoni Areola would be the one I would go for in the Premier League, other than Thomas Frank. I like Glasner an awful lot as well. Yeah, Glasner, Frank, Areola, any of them three I'd love at Liverpool. Hürzeler as well. Listen, Fabian Hürzeler is not Eddie Howe. No, not Eddie Howe. Fabian Hürzeler, I think, would fit. The thing with Eddie Howe, Joe, and I don't mean that in a really patronising, disparaging way, by the way, because I've just listened back the way that I said that, and I apologise, because Eddie Howe is a bloody good manager, and I like Eddie Howe an awful lot, and I think he's dealt with this Isak situation incredibly well, by the way. So you've got a great manager in Eddie Howe, but there's like an unwritten rule with Liverpool managers that you can't belong to someone else. It is an unwritten rule. Liverpool managers have to be Liverpool managers. They can't, like, Klopp kind of belonged to Dortmund, but he still had a story to be written. Eddie Howe is always going to be that Newcastle manager. He could never come to Liverpool, ever. Doesn't matter how good he does at Newcastle. Whereas Iraola, I think, very nearly again, City, giving it away. Iraola, I think Frank maybe. there's time for him. Glasner, I think there's time for him. Even Glasner, actually. Glasner's a little bit like Roy Hodgson at Fulham. Not necessarily in his style of play or anything. He's still young and everything. I like Glasner a lot, but yeah, the fact that he's won a cup or a couple of cups with Palace, that might be a problem. Oliver Sims, will you be watching the Sunderland-Burnley match? I am, mate. Yes, 3 o'clock. I will be watching Sunderland-Burnley. As soon as this game finishes, we're going to be watching Burnley against Sunderland. James, I think Howe and Newcastle are handling the Isak situation really well. Howe is. Newcastle aren't. Howe is doing very, very well. He's a real diplomat. Doku, come on for Marmoush. Yeah, Marmoush hasn't had his best game today, but I thought Doku would come on at some point. There's the first change. 8 minutes in. Marmoush had 8 minutes to change things. He hasn't done it. So Doku replaces him. Can City get back into this one? Joe, why not, for what he's done in the past few years? I just look at him, mate, and I think, yeah, that's the real reason. Culturally, Eddie Howe is just not a Liverpool manager. Nick A13, what's the score? The score is Manchester City 0, Tottenham 2. Oliver Sims, this is a must-win game for both teams, Burnley and Sunderland. Well, it's not really a must-win for Sunderland, but I think they will win. I've backed Sunderland to win. Burnley probably do have to win. Joe, destined for relegation to Champions League in nearly a year with hardly any money spent. Hardly any money spent? Come on, mate. You've spent as much as most in the top 6 over the last 5 years or so. He's not done it on a pittance. He's certainly not done it on a pittance. But he's done well. Either way, he's still done it very well. Sam, cheers for the follow. Nick, City were the favourites. They were, yeah. I mean, you can get about 3.5 to 1 now for City or draw here. So if you wanted to lump on and see if City can turn this round, then now's the time to do it. 35 minutes left. If City are going to get back into this, this is the time. Great tackle, that. Spurs are doing really well. Spurs have done so. I've got to say, this is a fabulous, fabulous performance from Spurs. This is doing nothing for my... Oh, Richarlison! Oi! Very nearly 3-0. Nick A13, what's the minute? The minute is 56th minute. James, as a Liverpool fan, do you really want Isak after how he's behaving to a club who've given him so much? James, I've said this an awful lot on this channel, so the people who've been here a while will kind of yawn and say, Key, what are you saying this for yet again? But I don't think Isak has behaved awfully at all. I think Isak is doing everything pretty much as he should. Eddie Howe and Newcastle have confirmed that they knew quite some time ago that he wanted to leave the club. I think players have an obligation to try and leave a club in a right way, and he has left the club in the right way. I think he's informed them, some would say over 12 months ago. So what you guys answer me this, right? What is the right way to leave a football club? What do you think the right way to leave? What's the respectful way to leave a football club? Because I think it's telling your gaffer 12 months in advance, or certainly a few months in advance, to say, listen, and if you say it's on good terms, Nick, it's not always possible to leave on good terms. Even when you want to try and leave on good terms, sometimes the other person, the other party, just aren't reasonable. Believe me, I've done that. I've left some jobs on bad terms where I've really tried to leave on good terms. I am not a disagreeable person in any way, but there's been plenty of times where you're just working for arseholes, right? And they break agreements with you, and that's kind of what Isak's saying. Isak's saying that he had an agreement with Newcastle, or at least an acknowledgement that he wanted to leave 12 months ago. And I think a fair and sort of respectable management leadership team would go, listen, we're not happy about that, we're disappointed, but we understand you've got a career, you've got goals, you want to do things. So, listen, what we'll do is we want you to commit to us for this year. We want you to give us everything for this year. And next year, we'll facilitate a move. Somehow, we'll try and figure it out, you know, get a move that works for you and the club. Newcastle haven't done that. Newcastle have gone back on. They also said they were going to give him a new contract. Didn't happen. So, you know, there's only one who's gone back on their agreement here, and it isn't Alexander Isak. And the only recourse that guy has is going public and letting people know that he wants to leave. I'm sure he didn't want to do that. It's been known, Eddie Howe has admitted that Isak told him last season he wanted to leave. So the club knew. This hasn't come out the blue. They've known for a while that he wants to leave. Kee still train and play matches. He's still trained. He has still trained. I don't know where this rumour has come from that Alexander Isak hasn't trained. He has trained. He has trained. He's trained every single day. As he's expected to. The big AK, maybe Nuno or Alonso, the things the last 10 years our managers have been fantastic. Michael, what did Isak mean when he said broken promises? Well, we don't know because he's not officially confirmed, but the rumours, the sources, the reputable journals have all said that what they were talking about was he was offered a new contract on wages that would reflect his position as one of the best strikers in the Premier League, right? So he wanted a new contract. He didn't get that. He was promised a new contract, and then a new person came in and said, oh yeah, that new contract we promised you, you're not getting that now. So you would be upset at that. That would be number one. They were also assuring him, apparently, that they were going to make big reinforcements to the squad so that Newcastle could compete at the top end of the Premier League and really try and compete in the Champions League. They haven't done that either. So it feels like both assurances he's been let down on. Oliver Sims, win them a trophy that means a lot to the team and to give them at least a 3-month notice. Exactly, and that's what he did. Has to be said, he's done everything there. James, give advance notice, hand in a transfer request and do everything for the shirt in the meantime. So there you go, so he's done everything he needs to do. Everything he needs to do. James, he has 3 more years on his contract to continue doing so. Well, I know, but contracts don't work like that in football, do they? We all know that. Contracts aren't signed with the expectation that you will stay there fully all the way to the end of the contract. Like, no, all these players signing 8-year contracts for Chelsea, they're not expecting to stay at Chelsea for 8 years, are they? Nick, do you have early payout? Yes, I do, mate, yeah. Same as anyone else does. Oliver Sims, just let the poor bloke leave. Jack, it's looking like a strong squad for Sunderland today again. I've not checked Sunderland's squad. I'm going to wait until we finish this game first, and then we'll get into the lineups of the others. Spurs, great ball over to the far post. I tell you what, Spurs are having more chances here. Spurs could be 3 up. James, did he hand in a formal transfer request? I heard there'd be some financial penalty if he did. But, right, this whole, has he handed in a formal transfer request? What's the point in that? What's the purpose of that? Newcastle aren't under any illusions, are they, that he actually wants to stay? They know he wants to leave, right? So, what do we think the purpose of a transfer request? What does that solve? Newcastle know he wants to leave. A formal transfer request changes absolutely nothing. I think if Newcastle said to Isak, listen, hand in a formal transfer request and you can go, I think he'd have probably done it, wouldn't he? He'd have probably done it. Jack, they can stop the payments if he puts a request in. No, they can't, Jack. No, they can't. I don't know where you've got that from. They can't do anything if he doesn't put a request in. No, that's nothing. That's nonsense. They can't stop paying him. They can't stop paying him if he puts a request in. He's still owed a salary. He's still owed his wage. So nothing stops in that sense. Danny Ross, love these streams. Cheers, Danny. Thanks for that, mate. Really appreciate that. And I really, really do. Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. But yeah, that doesn't change a thing. Honestly, it really doesn't change a thing, Isak putting in a transfer request. And I imagine if it was really that much of a deal breaker, he probably would have done it anyway. James, it is a last resort, but if a player requests a transfer, they often waive loyalty bonuses. Yeah, no, and listen, that might be the case, that he might lose some bonuses, but again, would that categorically change things? Like, would it, like, that's not the reason Newcastle aren't selling him for the sake of a few million quid in bonuses, are they? That's not the reason. They're not saying to Isaac, listen, you can go, but we want you to do this. We want you to put in a transfer. No, they're saying you can't go. It doesn't matter about the... Isak's probably keeping that as like his final card. Like, well, I'm not putting a transfer request in and forfeiting my bonuses if you're not going to let me go anyway. Like, no, if you're going to be a funny beggar with me, I'll be a funny beggar with you. I'm not putting my bonuses. I'm not forfeiting my bonuses, millions of pounds of bonuses. If you're breaking good gentleman agreements with me, where we've looked each other in the eye and shook hands on something, you're now going back on that. Why should I now forfeit bonuses that I'm contractually... You're holding me to my contract, I'll hold you to yours, sunshine. Absolutely no chance. Jack, he'll have to play for the Mags if he doesn't leave as of the World Cup. Why? He'd get in Sweden's World Cup squad and he'd be starting even if he didn't kick a ball all season. Again, listen, if Newcastle keep him, it suits absolutely no one. Like, everyone loses. Newcastle lose money. Isak will be absolutely miserable. He'll be sat in the reserves. And, you know, probably... It'll just be this big cloud that's hanging over the club. It's not going to be a particularly nice, pleasant time for any of his teammates either. James, Newcastle said there weren't any agreements in an official statement, so I'm not sure who Isak spoke to. Well, allegedly, he spoke to Amanda Staveley, the former owner of Newcastle United, or one of the owners, and she's since sold her shares. So... all of the journalists, like the Craig Hope and various others, have all sort of stated throughout this process that Isak was given assurances of a new contract and he was given assurances by previous owners, and then those owners left. And the new person came in, Paul Mitchell, and said, actually, yeah, no, we're not giving you them things. So... Robbo, Celtic, best club in the world. Well, you weren't so good the other night against Kairat Almaty. That was one of the worst games we've watched the other night. Ollie Marley, what's the strangest league you've ever watched on live? No idea. Probably Latvia or Iceland. Robbo says, enjoy the matches. Yeah, you too, mate. You know, we might be doing Celtic next week against Kairat Almaty in the away leg. So I'm intrigued to see exactly how that one goes. Jack, which 3 PM game are you doing? We are doing Burnley against Sunderland. Cool, how are the lads? Villa here. Villa against Brentford, what do we think? Oh, it's going to be a yellow card here for Romero. Fouled Oscar Bob. I didn't think that was a foul at all. He got the ball there, Romero. Nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong. James, fun fact, there's a Romanian Division team who've been fined 94 points today. That's an oddly specific fine. Thank you for the follow. Cheers, Kyle. Cheers, appreciate that, mate. Thank you. Michael, Kieran, now that the Premier League is in full flow, does that mean you'll be covering less matches from other leagues, home and abroad? I hope not. No, we're doing the National League. We're doing 2 from the National League next week. We're also doing the Serie A tomorrow. Yeah, still lots of other games going on. City! Oh, very nearly 2-1. Yeah, it's there's still absolutely going to be lots of footy on other leagues and stuff like that we're going to be doing. Probably less from the Bundesliga, to be honest. Purely because a certain someone's now got the rights. So if I show the if I do a watch along of Bundesliga, it just guarantees incredibly low views, and it's not going to be worth doing, to be honest. So I'm not going to be watching as much Bundesliga, probably more Serie A and La Liga, Eredivisie. Jack, what do you think the Sunderland-Burnley score will be? I think 2-0 Sunderland. Same as Oliver there. Oliver's put 2-0 Sunderland. I'd agree with that. I expect Sunderland will win that one quite comfortably in the end. Trafford clears the ball away. City skied it. Absolutely shocking. Last 20 minutes here. Really, really poor. Joe thinks 1-0 to Burnley. I wonder why you think that. I wonder why a Newcastle fan thinks that. Jacko one says Trafford has been poor. I mean, Trafford being poor, do we really think that's the case? He's had one, maybe, bad moment, Trafford. I feel a little bit sorry for him. A couple of bad moments. That's one of the difficulties with being a goalkeeper, isn't it? The claim for a penalty. Claim for a penalty here. Rotherham 2, Wigan 1. Oh, Wigan, what are you doing? What are you doing, Wigan? The Latics throwing points away for me here. 3-star Reds, Burnley lose today. Championship return virtually certain. Oh, Richarlison, yellow card. Christian Delap says, I hope Newcastle lose this weekend. Oh, Rotherham, come on. Need Wigan to step up here. Oliver Sims says 2-1 Liverpool. Dante, I've waited all week just for my team to play like this. Bloody hell. Bars House City being key. In a word, shanked. Yeah, they've been pretty bad. They've been pretty bad, to be honest, City. Spurs have been really good, though. I don't want to take too much away from Spurs because Spurs have totally and utterly nullified City. It's been a really, really good away performance from Spurs, this. At a really difficult ground. Yes, they've got a good record here, but that shouldn't negate the fact that they have been so good. They've won every single individual battle. I think Richarlison has been really, really good up front as well, by the way. You know, he's got the assist for the first goal. I think he's held the ball up really well. He's linked things up. It's a different side of his game, Richarlison. He often doesn't get the goal scoring sort of plaudits for obvious reasons. He doesn't tend to score too many. Maybe doesn't create as many as he should. He's a bloody good centre forward, you know, and he's doing so well. I would be amazed if Spurs offered Richarlison to Palace in exchange for Eze, because he's played so well for them already under Thomas Frank. I think he's been brilliant. And he might end up being that £50 million signing that they were all hoping he would be. Oh, I tell you what's Trafford doing there again? He's not filling this... He's really not filling this City defence with confidence. He's just come charging out of his box. Phew, good grief. Trafford all over the place here. Baz got VDV in my FPL, so come on Spurs. Dante, well, don't count us out yet. Samuel Mark Ingram. Pep Guardiola should have signed some decent centre-backs and a right-back. I mean, I think the goalkeeper situation is what has been most concerning. There's been a couple of moments where he's just... I think Trafford's a really good goalkeeper. I really think he's a goalkeeper. He's making really erratic decisions here. He doesn't need to come out there. He's come charging out of his area now 2 or 3 times. He doesn't need to be. It's not his way. Here's Foden and Rodri about to come on for City. Nick A13, wait, is Edison not playing for City? No, he isn't. Dante, can Trafford stay in the goal, for fuck's sake? Yeah, that's a very, very valid point there. 3-star Reds. Burnley lose today. Championship return virtually certain. I think I'd agree with that. Michael, Burnley have sold their better players that helped them get promotion, and the players that have replaced them are not as good. Whereas Leeds and Sunderland have upgraded their squads with better players. That's fair. Here's Oscar Bob coming off for Foden and Nico Gonzalez off for Rodri. 2 of City's more senior players coming on. Can they help City get back into it here? Last 15, 20 minutes. Sam Eric 69, congratulations to Liverpool for winning the league again. Already? James, here comes Foden. He could turn the game. You've got far too much faith in Foden there, I think. Baz, also, how's that not a red for Trafford on Kudus? On Kudus? Surely it was the handball. That was the handball part of it that, for me, I thought that was what he would have got sent off for. It's going to be a corner to City. Romero running it straight out of play. Nick A13, I'd congratulate Spurs on winning the league. Dante, Salah better deliver on Monday. I benched João Pedro for Strand Larsen and I'm regretting it. Who've Wolves got? Wolves are away at Bournemouth, aren't they? You benched Strand Larsen, João Pedro for Strand Larsen, and João Pedro's playing bloody West Ham. You've had an absolute shocker there, Dante. James, it should have been a foul against Kudus just outside the box. I thought it would have been a red. Not for the foul, for the handball. And Trafford's outside of his area again here. Heads it out and decently away there. Charmy says it's going to be 2-2 at full time, this one. Oh, all right, Tolga. Here he is. Tolga's minion. Michael Kieran, do you think Donnarumma comes to the Premier League? And if so, which club? United or City? I think it looks like City. Yeah, apparently Man United very close to signing Senna Lamens. Spurs about to bring on 2 players themselves. It's going to be Solanke and Odegaard, I think. Johnson coming off for Odegaard. Might just give Spurs a bit more of an outlet, a bit more pace up front. But yeah, Johnson, the opening goal scorer here that got Spurs on the way. And then Solanke coming on for Richarlison, I would imagine, just to hold the ball up a little bit more. Richarlison's ran himself into the ground today. He's been terrific. Yeah, he's coming off Richarlison. Absolutely brilliant. Manny on the map says won't be easy going to Craven Cottage. Again, Arsenal dropped points there. Liverpool got beat there last season. Tough place to go. United, I don't think, win there tomorrow. Dante, I lost confidence in Pedro after this performance against Palace and I thought Strand Larsen would cook. Only time will tell. Well, Strand Larsen's going to have to score and get 2 assists. Otherwise, you've missed out there. Swansea 1, Watford 1. Ollie, thought you were watching Brentford on Tuesday, not Celtic. I am watching Brentford on Tuesday, mate, yeah. Manny on the map. Hopefully we get the 3 points tomorrow. 4:30 kickoff. I'm live for it, mate. I'm going to be live. The one and only great result this for Spurs. Certainly is. Assuming they still get it, by the way. City have just did not look the same. Here's Doku. This is a big chance for City on the counter, maybe. Haaland bursting into the box. Here's Doku. Must shoot. Oh, hit it. Oh, it's a great bit of play, that, by the Spurs. That's wonderful play. Van der Ven, what a tackle that is. Van der Ven, absolutely sensational. James, West Ham were terrible defensively. It's true enough. What's Trafford doing again? I tell you what, you're gonna be like that. You're gonna be like that all season if you're a City fan with that goalkeeper. Oh, it's a fabulous tackle by Van der Ven. Money on the map, we battered Arsenal. We could... No, you didn't batter Arsenal. You didn't batter Arsenal at all. Rotherham 2, Wigan 2. Yes, get in there. Go on, the Latics. That's a result. At least I'm back on board now with that one. I just now need to see if I can get City to pull the finger out. City to turn this round late, maybe. Money on the map. Who've Liverpool got? Liverpool playing Newcastle at St James's Park on Monday Night Football, mate. I'm live for that one as well. Ollie, how do you think Liverpool do in all comps? I think we win the lot, mate. Quaddy. Baz, City fans going to start a petition to pay for Donnarumma to come. Well, Donnarumma did, wave goodbye yesterday in his game for PSG against Angers just after the game finished. So it looked like he was saying goodbye, and I think that might well be him going to City. I can't tell you how bad some of these Manchester City performances have been today. Everything, just a night and day from where they were against Wolves last week. Money on the map, going to St James's Park. Not easy, man, to go there either. No, it's not, absolutely. Dante, I also had Solanke in my FPL. He's just come on. What a shocker from my FPL. Money on the map, Man City have been evil today. Yeah, it's not been a great day. Gabbies, what's the score? It's Manchester City 0, Tottenham 2. With 10 minutes to go. Honestly, every little bit of... all the 1v1s today, Spurs have won. They've been absolutely terrific in every segment of the pitch. But for me, I think Palhinha gets my man of the match today already. I can't give it to anyone else. Palhinha has been sensational. Michael, Newcastle don't have any forwards at the moment. They played Gordon as a makeshift striker against Villa, which didn't work. Well, I think that's probably what they end up doing again, to be honest, Michael. I imagine Newcastle's front line against Liverpool on Monday will probably be the same front three. It'll be Elanga, Barnes and Gordon. Right, 45 minutes to kick off at the 3 o'clocks today. We're going to be doing Burnley against Sunderland. Hopefully you stick with me for that. It's going to be a big 6-pointer at Turf Moor today. So yeah, give us a like, give us a follow. Make sure you followed up here on TikTok. Make sure you've gone over to YouTube and give us a like and a subscribe as well. If you're new around here, please make sure, if you want to do me a favour, if you want to help a guy out, get over to YouTube, search Premier League Dad, and subscribe. I am live right now. Go and find me and give me a sub. Dante, I live in Sweden, so I don't get access to much except the one match during a Prem game week on Amazon. This one was City and Tottenham. Wow. I didn't know it would be on Amazon in Sweden. Here's Doku. City coming forward here late in the game. Can they get one to pinch it? Off the bar. Really good save. It's going to be a corner kick. Bernardo Silva with the header. Is it going to be a corner? No, I think it might be a goal kick, actually. He headed it over. Thought he might have put that. Has he put that? Yeah, just on the roof of the net there. Victoria Gonzalez. I knew Spurs would beat City. They always seem to get a result at the Etihad. Yeah, they've been good recently, haven't they? In recent years, they've always had Spurs, City's number, Spurs. D28 Wigan 2-2 away at Rotherham, yeah. That's alright. Did think Wigan would get a result today. Dante, it's always Spurs. There just doesn't seem to be an awful lot of urgency about City, does there? Look at this, like, you're in the last 10 minutes at home, you're 2-0 down, you've got to try and take some risks and commit some bodies forward. It doesn't seems like Spurs are more likely to score than City. Van der Ven and Romero have been terrific at the back, but yeah, Palhinha in midfield has just been absolutely sensational. Different class in everything he's done. Oliver, I wonder what kit Sunderland are wearing, away shirt or third shirt. I imagine it'll be the blue one. Yeah, the light sort of navy blue, I guess. Or royal blue more so. Shot from distance, straight into the arms of Vicario there from Foden. Victoria Gonzalez says, just like Villa versus City game 2 seasons ago at Villa Park. Can't tell you how bad it's been. Michael, Newcastle made a mistake in letting Wilson go, knowing that Isak wanted out and not getting in adequate replacements. I think they just didn't want to offer him a new contract. That was the problem. Here's City, out wide to Doku. Doku in the box. It's going to be a corner here. Walsall 1, Salford 0, that's finished. Victoria Gonzalez, what's going on with the Hammers this season? They're terrible. I just feel like they've not really connected with the manager. Oh, here's my favourite non-Liverpool player in the Premier League coming on the pitch right now. Lucas Bergvall coming on for Kudus. Oliver Sims, does anyone know if Mark Guiu is starting for Sunderland or if it's Mayenda? I would absolutely assume that it's Mayenda, but we'll go through the lineups now. I'll talk you through Burnley and Sunderland, just why there's a quick change. Kudus off for Bergvall. So Burnley's lineup is Dubravka in goal. The back four is Walker, Esteve, Ekdal and Quilindishy Hartman at left back. In midfield, they've gone for Ugachukwu and Cullen. And then it's a front four, I guess. Brun Larsen on the right, Anthony on the left, Mabry, and then Lyle Foster up front at centre forward. Spurs coming away on the counter-attack. This is really good play. For Sunderland, it's Roofs in goal. Mandava, Aldrete, Ballard and Hume at the back. Here's Bergvall already into the box. Chance here. Oh, just wide from Odeber. Really good play. So Roofs in goal. Mandava left back. Alderete, Ballard and Trey Hume at right back. Midfield of that same three midfields last week. Absolutely brilliant they were as well. Siddiqui, Xhaka and Diarra in that front three. And then it's the same front three again. Talby wide right. Adingra wide left. And Mayenda up front as the centre forward. So lots and lots of attacking potential there in that Sunderland team. I think they win quite comfortably today, in my opinion. Baz, Mayenda, Isidore, Adingra. Isidore? It's saying here that it's Talby. I mean, I could be wrong, but it's saying here Talby is the player. It is, I'm really stupid, I can't read clearly. You know, I was doubting myself, mate. I was doubting myself, thinking, what's going on here? Right, Foden with a free kick here. Has Foden been to Turkey? I think he's had a little trip to Turkey, hasn't he, Foden? Certainly looking a little bit more full in the old hairline section. Adingra Hattie Key, what are we saying? I can't see it. Can't see it. City, shocking ball in by Foden. And it's a foul to Spurs. Absolutely dreadful. It's been so bad. So bad. And those City fans are flooding out. Mukhtar, I warned you about how difficult it would be for City, just like Celtic. City equally needs Belaber. Three-star Red says, Key, see you later for the Arsenal-Leeds game tonight. Yeah, no problem, mate. I'll see you later on. Really looking forward to the Burnley game coming up in about 15-20 minutes. I'm going to be live at 1:45 for that one. So as soon as this game finishes, I don't know how long we're going to get in added time here, but it's not going to be enough for City to score two. As good as City are, let's be honest. 6-7-God-7. Cheers for the follow. Thank you, by the way, for everyone that has already followed. For everyone that's gone over to YouTube as well, go to YouTube. Premier League Dad. Give us a like and a subscribe. It massively helps the channel. Big thank you to those that have. And I am live every single day. My name's Key. I am live every single day on this channel, watching football from around Europe. Mainly the Premier League, but all around Europe. 3 games today. We're doing 3 games tomorrow as well. And if you're liking that sort of thing, then stick around. We have a good little community here, which we talk a lot about football and all the latest news, all the transfer news, all the stories and everything's going on, and all daft questions that we talk about. If that's your type of thing, give us a like, give us a follow. Bars Key, have you seen Fatawu's goal? I haven't yet. No. Has he scored for Leicester against Charlton? I haven't seen that. I didn't even see that they'd scored. It must have been a... Oh, no, I haven't. No, I haven't seen it at all. Great finish. Okay, I'll keep an eye out for that one then. Oliver Sims, Thomas Frank off to a great start as manager of Spurs. Didn't expect the players to adapt so well to a new system. He's done very well. I always thought Spurs had a... Oh, there you go. So Pap Matar Sarr has got player of the match according to TNT Sports. I wouldn't massively disagree with that. I think he's been terrific. Any of that midfield 3 have, to be honest, but I would have given it to Palhinha. I think he's been sensational. City with the ball in. Here's Doku. It's 4 minutes of added on time. We're already 1 minute into that, by the way. So City have got 3 minutes left to try and get 2 goals. Haaland. Bernardo Silva can't quite get the volley and Spurs come away with it. Palhinha must be man of the match, says James. I thought so too, but no, they've given it to Pap Sarr, which isn't, again, it's not a ridiculous shout. Pap Sarr's done very well too. I would have gone for Palhinha for my man of the match, definitely. But hey, to each their own. Different strokes for different folks and all that good stuff. Tell you what, Spurs are coming forward here. They might nick one themselves here. Hit it. He has done it. Oh, must be. Trafford. Good save. Trafford making a couple of big saves there towards the end. At least he's got his gloves dirty in the end. But yeah, really smart play that from Spurs on the counter attack, and they very, very nearly make it 3. Couple of good saves from Trafford. First one from Solanke. Big save, pushes it up in the air, and then the rebound from Odeber. Again, Trafford pushes it wide and away. Pedro Porro with the corner kick for Spurs. The Etihad rapidly emptying. It's great play by Spurs. Honestly, this has been an absolute 10 out of 10 performance from Spurs. They've been unbelievable in every single sense. Defensively, yeah, going forward, really thought. I think they've just been brilliant to watch in every sense. "30 seconds left here. Bar's keep was already empty, so I don't think it's emptying even more." That's fair enough. Fair enough. Here's Doku down the left-hand side. For what it's worth, Doku has at least come on and kind of made a little bit happen. He's looked a little bit more lively. I mean, he couldn't have looked less lively than Cherky did in that first half, but Cherky, I think Reinders today has felt the full speed of the Premier League. He's not playing against mugs like he was last week against Wolves. Reinders has looked lost. Cherky has looked absolutely overwhelmed by the pace of it. Baz, thank you for that, mate. You're a very, very nice man. Appreciated. Yeah, I just feel like City have kind of wilted today under the real pressure of the Premier League, and this is a proper test. Spurs have done really well today. Right, well, listen, we'll be back in about 15 minutes. I am going to go and get a drink and just generally not be sat here for 15 minutes. And it's full-time, City 0, Spurs 2. Great win for Spurs, that. I'll be back in 15 minutes for Burnley against Sunderland. That's the big 3 p.m. kickoff. Baz, thank you very much for that, mate. If you can, or if you want to, by the way, give us a like, give us a follow. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube. Premier League Dad. My name's Kee. I'm live every single day and be live again for 2 more games today. Burnley-Sunderland now, and then straight after Burnley-Sunderland, we're going to be doing Arsenal against Leeds tonight at 5:30. So make sure you give us a follow on TikTok, give us a like and a subscribe on YouTube, and I will see you all in about 15 minutes. See you soon.